Oh, baby.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to TCH Live. My name is Derek, and this is Kyle Z here to the left here. How y'all doing? How you doing tonight, Kyle?
Oh, great. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
How was your Valentine's Day, huh?
It was pretty good.
Oh my, I'm dead.
Had some dinner.
How does the jack still show?
There you
That's
go.
so
good.
sick.
Awesome, awesome.
How does he do that? Another jab.
Appreciate you taking time out of your day here to commentate. I know a lot of our viewers are actually going to enjoy this. I mean, it's been probably been a year since the last time you commentated, right?
Probably. I'm really excited for this game, man. You got some champions around the table. You got some people that are willing to swing. You know, a lot of respect for anybody that gets on a live stream and just puts themselves out there, puts their own money down, and just gets into it. You know.
Right, we always have a lot of people in our chat saying, "Oh, like I could do that," right? When it's my, but until it's your own money, until you're actually on the felt, I feel like you can't really say like how you'd react or how you'd play.
For sure. You know, I think a lot of people could definitely do it. It's just you know, it takes a little bit of a push.
I'm Danny.
Appreciate all of our viewers in here in the chat that are here early. Frank in the chat, already in here gambling away. Looks like Carlos is going to take off, take the bomb pot.
Everybody likes it.
I guess for any of our viewers that don't know you, Kyle, tell a little bit about yourself. Maybe how you got into poker. Do you play poker for a living? I know a lot of our viewers ask that question.
I'm an information security architect, so I'm just some dude that plays poker on a live stream. But I do try really hard, and that is that. I played for about 10 years semi-series. Man, I'm excited about this. They already got the 50, huh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the blinds are currently no, actually, no, yeah, the blinds are incorrect for a few hands. Yeah, David did tell us.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so they're actually, it is 5-10-25 tonight, but they will correct that shortly. Looks like Safine's going to raise the button here to 100 off a few limps.
Sabine has a lot of heart, man.
Yeah.
He's played with us on the side. He's definitely shown a lot of heart.
And the last time I talked to him, he really hasn't been playing poker all too long either. It's kind of been maybe a pandemic hobby that turned into something, like you said, semi-serious.
Yeah.
For a lot of people recently.
Sabine, another tech guy, another data engineer. Randy's awesome. You ever played with Randy?
Yes.
Randy is one of those players where it doesn't matter what the mood is at the table. When he gets to the table, he's going to put everybody in a good mood. You know, he just has that capability. You know what I mean? He just reminds everybody that life is good. It's great to be alive, and it's great to be here. You know what I mean?
Go again.
Because at the end of the day, we are playing a game, and hopefully everyone enjoys it, right? To some degree.
For sure.
Thanks for the drink.
Interesting hand developing here.
Oh, yeah.
Safine going to be check raise on the flop. It's going to go check raise, check on the turn. Runner, nuts. Or excuse me, he just hits his gut shot for Safine.
Respect the heart from Habib. Is it, how do you say it? Habib?
Habib, yes.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense here, right? I mean, he check raises as a bluff, like a pure airball on the flop, right? But does turn showdown value
I was trying to listen to you.
relatively. I don't know how much you can weight into that. So let's go check on the turn.
Probably the best ones,
All in here.
best ones you're gonna hear.
And Safine going to bet the pot here on the river. Take it down.
How do you always know?
How did this guy?
How do you always know?
How do you always know?
It's so painful.
What are we doing?
Nice in there for
It's
Safine.
crazy how they know all the time. I can't win.
Do you ever win when you gamble these chat loyalty points?
So, man, it took me a year to build up the loyalty point bankroll here. I don't even know how many I have, but I have over 10,000.
I always gamble all of them, and I always lose every time. So I think that's the wrong strategy. What do you think?
Yeah, so I built up the 10. I mean, you can only gamble, the minimum bet is 10. So you slowly get to 10, and you just have to get lucky.
Okay.
But then once you get to 20, you still go back to 10.
Okay. All right.
And
Gotcha.
then you just got to keep getting lucky until you get to around 100. You got to go on a streak for sure.
Yeah.
So you get to 100, and that's when you start just doing 10s. Then we get to 500, you can start doing 20s.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh, Randy with the queens, popping it up.
I'm paying a little bit better, and I'm creative and funny. And I'm winning, so you want to play when you're winning.
You're a little heavy there.
It's a rare occasion.
A little heavy there.
Occasionally happens.
Unless you just want to add.
Randy going to raise over some limps again. Considering, I mean, so the pot's a little incorrect right now, just because. Oh no, it should be correct.
Not the best flop that you want to see, but at least you got the club.
Fortunately for Randy here, no one really can make a play at this pot or call him here.
But this is Texas, so.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, Habib might have just gone crazy there, right, with the 9. But no, Randy's gonna take it down here. Great result there with the queens. I guess we can talk a little more about the players here and maybe some of your experience playing with some of them. Yeah. So let's go back to the camera here. I didn't really see who all was here.
Well, I see Bridge Mike, world-renowned bridge player, very famous guy. He's played with all kinds of people, including Warren Buffett.
I did hear about that actually. Well, I think you brought it up when I think we were playing at the same table. And we were playing with Mike, and then we were like, oh, sorry for bringing all the attention to you, Mike, but this is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Habib can put on the $50 straddle.
Oh, there we go. There it is. What did it take? 3 hands? 4 hands?
Yeah, not even 1 full rotation here. But yeah, we got Habib in the 1 seat. Danny, I'm sure you're very familiar with in the 2 seat.
I don't know, 3.
That's Mustafa. Seat 4, Safine, of course. Seat 5, Carlos. I don't think Carlos plays that often in our room unless it's the live stream. So don't know if you have much experience playing with him.
No, not really. But it's good to see a lot of new faces, you know? Just for reference for anybody watching, whatever is on the board in Texas, just double it, and that's the game that you're playing. Always assume the straddle's on.
Yeah, really don't even consider the blinds, really. You got and I think I had the same conversation with Hallie last time I commentated with him. You really just got to look at how the stack depth, right? And that can kind of give you an idea of what kind of game you're playing, right? Like a typical, I mean, there's some 25-50 games that play at a 5K max stack depth, right? So it's very dependent on the stack depth, like I was saying. I mean, note that we can go further, right? Like our 1-2 has a 500 max, whereas a lot of 2-5 games have a 500 max buy-in.
I love playing the 1-2 here while I wait. It's so fun. It's a good time. Highly recommend it. To anybody that's thinking about getting into poker, one thing that I would say is there's probably never been a super highway like TCH to build a bankroll. Except for when you're talking about like early days, like 2005. So if you're ever thinking about trying to go from 0 to a decent-sized bankroll, come up and play at TCH. There is a pathway for you.
I mean, yeah, you talk about that. I mean, we see actual examples of it too. The past 2 years we've seen here at TCH.
For sure.
I mean, I know one for a fact, and he won't mind me saying this. Chris Sturdivant, Sturdy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he literally started playing poker here. Like he never even played poker before the pandemic. Started playing poker here at 1-2, and now we've seen him play on some of our Wednesday streams. Right? And it's like I said, it's very possible. All right, yeah, I'm seeing a few more people here hop in the chat. Thank you all so much. Got Frank, Kicker Problems. Zaper Productions. Thank you all so much for tuning in here. It's got Derek and Kyle Z here commentating tonight. And Danny's gonna flop top pair.
Surely he's not talking about Clarice. That was pretty good though. It's always better when at least one person gets something, you know?
Did I lose my roll? Because everyone's saying like,
See what you did.
there must be what's going on here? So Poker Monkey lost, Productions lost, I lost, Skullbone lost. What is going on here?
Honestly,
I hope they heard that.
the chat is rigged. I just want to put that out
Kicker
there.
Problems lost, JT. What is going? It's like if we had a freaking roulette wheel or whatever, it'd be like green, 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 right? What is going on here? Ragnar Rover be sticking in here. Loses as well. Wow, that's 8 in a row, I think. All right, well, back to the action here. Randy, or Bridge Mike gonna open the action with the 9-10 suited. Randy waking up with a premium here.
Sir, can you not have your drinks on the table?
Let's see if Habib can get away from this.
Randy always strikes me as like some sort of outlaw biker. With a heart of gold, of course.
Got a razor bridge mic, a 3-bet from Randy. Habib gonna cold call 3-bet in the big blind, and bridge mic gonna come along.
Who said poker's dead?
Yeah, trade spots.
You know, I don't necessarily disagree with Habib playing his hand, but I'd probably choose that holding as a 4-bet or fold spot, considering that is kind of a later position open.
For sure, and like with the offsuit variety, you might want to just lean more towards folding there. And then you also can think about your opponents. You know, you can think about, hey, okay, I know what the strategy is at the equilibrium. How often does Randy actually 3-bet? Does he 3-bet less, or does he 3-bet more? What types of hands does he 3-bet with? And then you can get even more sort of surgical on, should you be folding or 4-betting the king queen. That being said, there have been a lot of solutions that have come out lately that have added in flats in a lot of positions, and surprise,
Even from the blinds, huh?
Even from the blinds, surprise, there are some flats.
I imagine that's like the deeper stack depth, right?
Deeper
Once
stack
you're at
depth.
100 or 200 blinds, you're handcuffing yourself. Right?
100%. And
I'm in your line of sight. I'm gonna try to stay out.
and also it's a
Anything
like,
right?
okay, how much EV does this actually get you extra? Is it enough to really warrant the complicated strategy? Probably.
She wasn't even smiling.
Old people.
Yeah, because I mean, what traditional blind strategy is typically a re-raise or fold scenario, right?
Right, unless you're like in the big blind completing.
I'm a slow learner. You'll find
But
out.
I mean, like you said, I've seen plenty of players just calling the small blind, even if there is a 3-bet ahead of them.
If you wanna like study a player that does that really effectively, I would say Rom. But caution, Rom. Not everybody can just think and play like Rom. So he does flat a lot of 3-bets, and I've seen him do it with success. I like Safine. Safine has a lot of heart, man. It's
Definitely plays a very aggressive style.
It's gonna be fun watching him and Habib go at it. Oh, that's the
hero cape face.
Yeah, that's gonna. I'm gonna call her fool. I was wondering if he was gonna raise on that one. Play it dangerously.
No, I had 9-10 that time, but it wasn't super.
Randy's up.
Yeah, the first 8 hands of our stream here, Randy already up 1,300. Carlos up from our flip. Everyone else looking to get into the green here.
Yeah, the way Randy plays, there are going to be some sessions where he just wins all the money.
So did you give anything with the egg, or was it just the egg?
I wonder if that's going to be if that's going to be today. If he's just going to bulldoze the table.
Italian composer bullshit fucking guy at the arts museum of fuck in April, and she's gonna meet him backstage and we're first about she's fine. She's fine. Don't worry.
And you found it all for her, right?
Yeah, I can't even say the guy's name, but he's
Oh, 50. Huh?
Randy here going to limp his pocket 4s here.
Oh. Danny, I think the reason he folded there was he was concerned about what Safine would do.
Good read, good read.
Usually he's isolating there. He's attacking,
Yeah, considering you have, very studied, very strong player on your direct left, you might want to consider tightening up that isolating range, right? It's just a little bit, just to make sure you're not getting
It's good, it's good.
completely blown out.
For sure.
Safine going to flop a flush draw, now turning a gut shot. Habib turning open-ended. Queen high currently the best hand.
Isn't that crazy?
It is funny. So funny.
It's really organic.
See what I mean? Like Randy's just improving the mood of the guy next to him right now.
Wow, what a river card. It's going to give Habib top pair. Safine with a straight.
Did he actually check?
I actually misread my hand.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, you let him off the hook. I mean, no need to be sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely a spot where he could have led river card and definitely could have get paid off there by top pair.
Believe it or not, these say queen high.
Fortunate for Veep there.
Took a second, they said queen high.
We know
Yeah,
you're new to the
I
game.
definitely
Queen
did
high,
not mean
straight.
to
Yep.
Counting us over.
Okay, now it's
Classic
fair.
slow
Game
rolls.
on, game on.
King
No,
high
I definitely didn't mean to.
Watch the beat slow roll Sabina.
You tricked everybody.
I hope so.
I tricked myself, really.
We need to have like Max Payne Wednesdays. You know, run
Tricked
slow
everybody
rolls.
except for the computer.
Yeah.
The computer.
It would
knew
be
what
the
you
game
had.
to do it on.
Oh,
And, and honestly, I think we've brought that up before.
I was so focused on
just
my
because we
card
know
to
the
get
player
there.
pool would totally be cool with it. Yeah.
For sure.
So who's
Look,
great?
now you have unlimited.
Riz,
permission to slow
actually, I
forever.
played with him last week and had a nice
Forever.
conversation with him. He's friends with Brass Monkey, Brian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's how he got introduced to the stream. Because I think Brian was playing for a little bit. Then he introduced Grizz to it.
Gotcha.
And then Grizz is friends with Carlos.
Okay.
So kind of the same way how OFC, Habib, and Mustafa all know each other from the same home game.
Gotcha.
They kind of introduced the
Probably like Fort Worth crew. Huh?
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even see he was at the table. No, it's hard in your seat to see. It's not
Carlos gonna float him with second pair.
I do it all the time.
Completely okay. Ooh. We got a Texas turn. When the middle card pairs after someone check calls you, it's almost never good for you. It doesn't mean you have to check all the time, but it does mean you have to check more. So you did pick that up, and you made a good check there.
Now you're almost beating nothing here, right? Because it's very tough for your opponent to have King Jack.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him too, though, you know, once you check the turn, you know, you're going to be checking the turn with a lot of weak hands too. So you kind of got to be careful. Yeah, I don't blame him. You got to be careful that you don't just like fold everything there.
Yeah, you open yourself to getting bluffed here.
Yeah, and
King very strong.
I don't know a lot about Carlos, but he put it in the bluff, right?
Carlos,
Like on like a check line.
he's definitely bluffed before,
Yeah.
but probably not as frequent as say like Habib or Safine.
Okay.
Gotcha. Just based on what I've seen. I mean, on Habib though, like say it was like a year ago, Habib would never like a bluff for river card like that. Like given that it would probably almost hit his opponent's range.
We can just pretend.
But the past like 3 months, we've seen Habib call some sick bluffs, and I think you've noticed that a few times while you've been watching.
For sure. You know, I think playing on the live stream is really, really good for learning. You get to
He's
sort
improved
of,
a lot.
Yeah, you get to watch it back. You get to see what works, what doesn't work, and then how other people react in other in situations. You just get so much more information from a live stream than you do playing any kind of regular game. So it really is good for improving your game. Let's see what Danny does here. He's going to throw in a flat. Let's see, where was... Oh, it was an early position open. Got it. Okay. Yep. Danny knows it. He decided not to play 3-bet or fold for a reason and throw in some flats there. But when you do that, there's a player that to your left that's 3-bet happy. You're going to get squeezed out of some pots. Danny's accepted that.
But right here, one of those scenarios that we were talking about earlier, where you might want to consider calling from the blinds when you're quite a bit deeper, right? You're 250, almost 300 big blinds plus. But no, he's just gonna let it go. I thought Carlos was about to make the call there.
Gotcha.
And it would be one of the better spots, considering the 3-bet did come from the small blind, right? Because you would have position, but on the opposite end, right? If they are deciding on 3-bet from the small blind, they're gonna be on the tighter range.
And make sure the opener doesn't 4-bet a lot too.
Yeah.
It's a very specific play, I would say. Okay, now that let's see, how deep are we? Yeah, I think Danny's gonna probably put in the call here. Good position.
I didn't want to get it. I was going to watch, but I didn't want to be involved.
You know, he's getting odds. He's got a good hand. What's your stack size, Danny? Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna put in the call.
Yeah, and it's a hand here that's gonna have a tough time being dominated a lot of the time, right? So it's probably a better hand than like maybe Ace Jack or Jack or like king, queen, or something like that, right?
And to answer Jay Diaz, the biggest pot that we've had on live stream, I believe, was 144,000.
Yeah.
Bildo, just search it. You'll see.
Were you playing on that game for that stream?
Not that one.
Okay, JD was though. I think he was. I know JD was specifically. Oh, hold on, we have a hand.
Yeah,
here.
we got a hand.
On that, Christian.
Keep putting CD to decision here.
What did
My guess is
Sitzafine check flop?
check because there are two people behind him that have already called. You know, you can't just like blindly range bet in these spots. I used to. It'll cost you money.
And he has to consider as well. I mean, pre-flop Habib was the initial raiser, right? So he could definitely have some ace-x holdings that are going to raise, call, 3-bet.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I mean, regardless if it was suited or not, Habib has a lot of ace-10s, ace-jacks, ace-queens.
Look, he was about to fold.
$23.95.
He might have picked up something. I don't know. He's on the edge now. He was when he first turned over, he was about to fold, but then he saw something. You could tell.
Since I slow rolled you, I feel bad, so I'm gonna call.
Oh,
Man, I think you're right.
Yeah, look
Oh,
at that.
no.
Oh,
What
really?
a call. What a call.
Up to you if you want to go more than
Even with
once.
the King
It's
of
up to you.
Hearts too. Like you don't really.
That's a bad card to have.
Yeah, you don't want that King of Hearts,
One
but
time?
man,
Yeah, one time.
what a call.
One time. Yeah.
One
Oh,
time.
you're good. You have outs.
Danny.
That's it. How much is it?
Hearts.
Wow.
Hearts, Danny.
Danny was calling for hearts?
Yeah. I mean, like all the
that's fair,
raises,
yeah.
Josephine and Danny, like the entire time that we play, we just give each other a bunch of
He always does once, he said?
Nice hand there for Habib. Gonna double up, more than double up, and now he's a big winner tonight.
Now, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, the man has heart. I really respect that. That's one of the things that differentiates people in a poker game. There are a lot of things that'll differentiate people, but one of those things is the ability just to put the money in when you don't have it. It's a very unnatural thing to do. It feels terrible when you do it, but having that ability to do it is really what will separate people in the game.
Well, this time you got there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's go back to what you were saying with how, I mean, it really did look like Safine was about to fold, but when he flashes kings, he must have spotted something because he almost snap changed his mind, right? And you know, he kind of played off like, I'm gonna give you action, but obviously he didn't want to, give away that he might have seen a tell or something. So
For sure, we're gonna give it away for him. If I had to guess, like I'm not a big tells person. Honestly, I don't those hands. But if I had to guess, it actually is really easy to tell when someone gives you a legitimate smile and when they give you a forced smile. I don't know, but he might have seen like a forced smile there when he was joking around.
I saw that on CNN.
Instead of that, I want to read your book. Will you autograph it?
apparently there's been 12 rolls that have lost in a row.
Hey, can we put the fix in for the chat the other way so everyone just keeps winning?
We can do an audiobook for you, Mike, if you'd like.
Everyone's like scared to roll now.
I've got a fantastic color.
We got about 124 viewers right now. Thank you so much for tuning in early.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, as you're coming here, please hit that like button. Helps the channel out a bunch. Listen to the voices of Derek and Kyle Z tonight, one of our regular players on our High Stakes Tuesday stream. Graciously gave us some of his time tonight to commentate, and really appreciate you coming in tonight.
What's the biggest bad beat we had on the stream? I don't really JD is with the questions.
The turn straight flush and the river bow.
Oh, was that Rom?
Yeah, Rom and Dusty. Yes.
What do you mean?
I'd have to say that's probably one of the sickest beats I've seen.
Gotcha.
There was another one where Swirls river to straight flush, and someone else had I think a boat as well. So I mean, we've seen straight flushes against boats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's one of the bursts. Yeah, I appreciate the effort. I was excited, but you know, action goes too quick sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
350.
So look, J-Rock pushing the action here with bottom pair. Grizz gonna make the call. king high plus draw.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes you want to, especially like when your bottom pair is like a 2, a 3, like really low. There's what's called protection betting, where you're betting to clear out high cards that might hit on the turn. It's usually something that would be done more heads up, I mean, on the flop, but you know, still the same concept can still apply.
And typically, if there's more cards if there's more bad turn cards, you typically size up too as well, right? I mean, depending if it's heads up, but
For sure.
multi-way probably not recommended. But like you said, the same concept could still apply. Jay Diaz, are either one of you playing the World Series this year? I know you're not a tournament player. So.
Yeah, I don't play the tournament, and Texas has some of the best cash games, so I don't really see too much of a reason to go to Vegas. Every time I go to Vegas, last time I went, I won like 30K, had a terrible time. So,
hey, money does not equal happiness. The experience, and you had a terrible experience.
A lot of like miserable regs in Vegas.
You just played like the 5-10, right? I think you mentioned that.
I know, right? I can feel the urgency in that.
But honestly, like I can't say it enough about Dallas. The difference between Dallas and Vegas is a situation where most of the regs will play with people that they'll never see again, and that they're just passing through. In Dallas, you will play with most of the people you play with. You'll play with every week, right? So it's just a different mentality. Everyone's your neighbor, so you have to sort of be nice. Whereas in Vegas, it's all like grab what you can while you can, make people pissed, you know, all that kind of stuff.
They never have to experience the like them. I guess what's the word for it? Kind of ruining or like mutilating their own game by not being cordial. Just being a good or not even being cordial, just being a good human being, right? Like
I mean, you can be an ass, but it's not going to work out for you in Dallas.
That's true. You did not. You did not. Good read. Good read.
No cholesterol, no overs.
I guess for me, I'm considering it. There's a few of my coworkers that are trying to convince me to go to the World Series, but it'd be to play in like the mixed game tournaments, like Badoogie, or I wouldn't be playing the limit. Yeah, because for the first time this year, they're doing a Badoogie tournament. Normally, it's involved in the triple draw mix. So they usually do like a 3-game mix on that.
I know nothing about those mixed games. If you ever see me play and get in that game, you're gonna win.
I really enjoy it just because it's like it's mentally stimulating for me. Where like
for sure.
Where like no limit can be almost monotonous. Right? And I'm sure you can understand that.
Yeah, it's something sheep thing. Bridge Mike popping it up in the cutoff. 3x. Definitely wants to check this flop multi-way. Bridge Mike is just like, let's get the showdown. Come on.
Over 2-pair, though, Habib's 2-pair will be best.
Yep.
8s and 7s.
And he will take it down.
No real other way to play that for Bridge Mike. You hope you get the showdown. You hope you win, really. If it was heads up, maybe he would have a little more room, but
yeah, you had so many things going against him, right? Out of position, multi-way, and not connecting.
I already finished mine. I want to see the $50 more.
Ideas with the question: are you guys tournaments just as good as the World Series of Poker or WT? There's this. What's your biggest difference? I'd actually go back to exactly what Kyle just said. I mean, I think the biggest difference would be you're playing with a lot of the same players. Given that, I mean, even though we are a private card club, I mean, one of the bigger cities in the country, a lot of our player pool is pretty consistent, and that goes along with tournaments too. So you're gonna be playing with, like, a lot of our tournament regulars. All know each other, and you're gonna have to maybe get used to actually talking to your neighbor, because like all of them are actually gonna say, like, you're gonna sit, if you're the first time here, you're gonna sit down at a turntable. All the other 8 players are all gonna talk to each other. So it's something you might not be used to. You're used to playing in Vegas, going to the World Series, everyone just sits down and locks in, puts on headphones, and don't talk to each other.
yeah, the Saturday tournament's great. I watched it last time. It was a blast. Absolute blast. Plus, you might end up on a live stream on if you make it to the final table. Man, Habib just outflopped.
The link. Did you already?
150.
I think this is an exploited bet by Gariz. I guess the guy that might call a little too wide. Not too sure, but that would be my guess. Unfortunately, he's going to get the bad news here really quick.
Get out of here. 25 moves, and Jack 10,
900.
Jack would lead alive.
I think pretty standard play from Veep. Not too sure what Gariz is trying to get to fold at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe other than just a pure flush draw.
So everybody watching, it's really hard in some of these spots to give up a hand. You put so much into it, you know, you don't really want to give up the money that you put in the center, and I get it, but sometimes you just gotta let it go, unfortunately.
Yeah, today he's got it today.
I hear you. Habib he can bluff, so you know, it's at least it's not like you're playing a call against someone that never bluffs.
Yeah.
It's way different. I always like that. I always like when I'm playing against a bluffer because it's like, well, at least sometimes I'm good. At least I guess.
Make them have it. Yeah. Make them have it every now and then.
Randy's so ready. We need some drinking.
No more tens.
JD is you never have to question. You never have to be sorry for asking questions.
I did whiskey.
No, yeah, we really appreciate you so
I
much
can't wear
today.
both today. I wasn't.
Please continue with the questions. That's what we're here for. No problem. But yeah, no. Back to the Cyberlash. I appreciate all the super chats you sent, man. That's
Oh yeah, that was
very
fun.
kind of you. And it seemed like you were getting really into it, especially towards the end there.
Oh, it was so fun.
And now you see why our Saturday stream is one of our more popular ones. Like how excited, like someone you're rooting for since the final 9, like makes it the final 3. You're like, oh, well, now I got a dog in this. I've been watching.
For sure. We're definitely I'm gonna start setting up side bets for rigs. So, you know, we're gonna have some horses. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that, but you know,
Need a fold now.
some of the rigs that you see on the Tuesday stream are gonna start betting probably on the on the tournament.
Hey,
players.
whatever makes your Tuesday stream and better game more lively, more exciting. Please do.
I can't look either.
You got 25 out there already?
Just no juice. We're just might have a problem.
Oh, right. Just friendly bets between friends.
Interesting flop here. Habib on fire.
Yeah.
Gonna flop 2 pair, and 2 players have overs.
Sneaky.
425.
Dre Rock driving the action here, you know, and with
Too much for you, Hoopy. Can't afford it.
One thing to think about on a flop like this is if the straddle, the last person that's complete, called. This is always these sort of 3 low flops are always the best for the person that's in the big blind or the straddle, whoever the last person to act is. I don't think that's the situation here, but
7's actually got away. Was that Randy?
nice way,
That's
Randy.
a good fold.
Yep. Just
Not a
didn't
great
wanna-
turn card here.
You know, Randy probably was thinking about the turns that were coming out and how hard it was going to be to play.
Which is definitely fair. I mean, any 6, any 3, any overcard.
Yeah, it's going to suck.
You're not really. I mean, you're not even really that happy with a 7, right? There's possible straight draws that Habib definitely could have or already have.
The other thing to remember is when it's multi-way, you do not own all of the minimum defense frequency. You share that amongst the other players that might call as well. So it's not just your responsibility to defend, it's shared between, you know, however other many players are in the pot. So you don't have to call as much. You fold a lot more.
Heads up, probably a different story.
Oh, yeah.
You said.
Yep.
Not the best idea to fold an overpair like that. But yeah, J-Rock with a good hand here. But now with a decision, as it is a one-liner.
My best friend started the company. It's like data analytics. We help colleges with
Habib has quite the image, huh?
recruiting for sports.
Is not gonna really change much. Does bring in backdoor clubs. And Habib up to a 10K stack now. Look at that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter.
He's been on quite the heater the past month or so.
No, I moved here about 2 years ago, Chicago. I was just playing poker at the time.
He's unbeatable.
For what? You have family there? Or?
I gotta get the
Check for you.
Pizza when you're
It
out
was
there?
nice.
But
You still got a call,
All
I
right,
know,
so
right?
he's down about 2K, so he's going to probably play a lot looser now.
Even 8 king is down.
Even more than normal.
2 pairs is nothing. That's why I say even 6.
yeah, there's a really diverse community out there.
We went there, haven't we, in February.
Yeah.
Just a question for the chat. Like, out of all these players, who do you want to see get rivered for like all of their money? I'm just curious. You know, I mean, people have favorites and unfavorites. So, who do you guys want to see get rivered?
50 shadow. What happened?
Tricks. Make sure they solve them.
Looks like we got the $50 straddle on again.
Pushing back now.
Very nice. Yeah.
Put it out and pull it back. I saw that.
You know, you and I are going to end up really not
You know,
liking
I
each
guess
other.
we've been seeing quite a bit of limping here, even in the first 30 minutes of our stream.
It's going to be either or.
150 is the bet.
I guess at any stack depth are you ever limping, Kyle?
I think there are
Danny or a card.
not in this format. That's what I would say. Like I know like tournament charts have some like that's crazy stuff at a shallower stack depth, but I wouldn't in this particular format. You can get away with it in some games if people aren't raising enough. You know, you can get away with splitting your range like that. But what you're actually doing when you limp is you're capping your range. When against people that are isolating, it's just going to be really tough to play out of position against someone with an uncapped range while your limping range is capped. Because typically people don't like balance a limping range, you know. And if they do, it's every once in a while. It's not a real balanced limping range. So, no, I wouldn't do it. But it's not necessarily. What's funny about live poker is in some games it's not necessarily a losing play.
Right. Does it necessarily need to be balanced all the time? Probably not, but
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it, you're probably doing it exploitively.
Right.
25.
They might just give it to you.
Do you want me to put the
But for
I mean,
example, if you're
keep you
limping and
honest.
Safine is in position, it's just not a situation to put yourself in because
is good.
he's now uncapped, you're capped, and he has position and he's really paying attention.
Nice head.
Actually, I just thought of a scenario where it's like almost only on live poker,
In case
right?
you didn't know, he's here.
Blind raise. The blind raise, right? So that's one scenario I can think of where you actually should know what you need to do to exploit that or take advantage of that, right? And for those of you that don't know, right, it's the blind raise, someone raising from way out of turn,
I'll
right?
drink with you if you drink.
Rules of poker, if the action changes ahead, then they can take that raise back. Right? Say you have really good hand.
Mustafa drinks
You want to take advantage of it, right? So that's a situation where limping is actually part of your strategy. It's something you should know in the live game, right? That's
Another one that's actually a advanced strategy that you'll see employed at the high stakes is the blind that's the closest to the biggest blind. So if that's a straddle, the blind just to the right of the straddle. If it folds around, you can have a strategy where you raise sometimes.
You have a little too much fun,
gotta
you
pay
know?
the man back for his drink.
But that is a very complicated strategy. A lot of people don't employ. It's more of an online thing.
oh, so if you're in the big blind,
Yeah, so if there's a straddle and you're in the big blind,
Got it.
and everyone's folded to you, you can increase your VPIP by having a mix of a limp, a raise, and a fold sort of strategy that you take. Which would mean, like, sometimes you would be limping with aces, kings, queens, you know, a lot of the stronger hands, and all your limps, they get raised, you also have, like, a re-raising range. Very complicated way to play.
right? Danny gonna flop top pair. Grizz looks like he's gonna make the call here. Has some backdoors, but just as F5 high. Now Danny with the check mark.
So this one, limp raise, call, gotcha. And then Danny bet. Guess Danny range bet, yeah.
We'll
Range
check
bet.
the turn here.
Range bet, and then when this turn comes out, you want to check some of your top pairs for protection. Good move by Danny.
Smaller, give it small.
Got induced Gariz to bluff here. Danny's probably going to pick this off. Although, I didn't see the club hit. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
gonna be-
definitely one of the better river cards that Grizz could choose to bluff here. Does have showdown value, but has to know 5 is never good. Right here.
Yeah, that's a really good identification by Grizz. That, 5 never wins here. This is a bluff.
And that might have been his plan all along, right? Calling that flop, right? He does could turn his hand into a bluff when a club comes, but in case a heart comes, he could still check back. But Danny's gonna pick it off here. Nice call by Danny.
Yeah, Danny knows once he goes check the turn, he's
Nice ending.
he's not at the tip top of his range or anything like that in the check line, but he's got a good hand for his check line, so he's just probably gonna call that one. It does make it tough for his club though. Good play by Kariz. You know, I like the heart. Again, it's a thing that differentiates people in poker, the ability to really stick it in when you don't have it.
He's got too big a bankroll. The problem.
Yeah, very. I mean, especially the lower sticks, right? Very easy. Someone's just like, oh, I'll give up. I mean, but you know, the recognition that this club's probably better for me than my opponent, then I can definitely take advantage of that.
For sure. And if you always just never bluff, what happens is eventually people will just start folding to you all the time. And that's not what you want in poker. You don't want people just to like fold everything that's worse than what you usually bet with. You know? And so the bluffs sort of force people to call you down the line.
Tighten up now.
See, I got this thing called Young Asian Equity, so people call me down no matter what, Kyle.
You know, oh, man, I got things to say, but I'm just I want to be too careful that it comes out of my white mouth. You know, man, how long are you guys gonna ride that stereotype for, huh? You know, jeez, it's like man, it was like something people used to say in 2005. People still ride that.
It's just, it must be how I smile at them or something.
Okay. Honestly, anytime I ever, back in the day, anytime I ever saw a 2+2 thread that started out with like me versus crazy Asian, it's always they did something stupid. Yeah, they always did something stupid in the hand. They're just trying to
His pocket kings.
Pocket kings don't
Yeah, I said that term to our floor, Leon, and he thought it was the funniest thing. Young.
I never have been that good.
Like Danny's gonna open up the action from behind. He's gonna get called by Mustafa. And he's gonna lip call.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm sure you can notice here, he lip called a lot of hands here.
It's pretty wide. Likes to play. Likes that beat
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's still in there, everybody. It's still in there.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Carlos doesn't miss a single spot. One-liners. Have you ever had a chance to hear Carlos's one-liners on our Wednesday stream? Oh my god, he has so many of them. I hope he whips some of them out because he's got to be one of the funniest players on our stream.
Always is king. Always is king.
Yeah, I guess I'll give you one for example. One of these days, someone on the stream was talking to Carlos. I'm talking about C5. Sure. And I don't know if you know much about him. He's a lawyer. He used to be a judge, actually.
Always dresses nice. I know
Yeah,
that.
very nicely.
He used to be a judge?
Used to be a judge,
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
But now he works in the private sector as a lawyer. But I forgot someone was asking about directions somewhere, and then he didn't even have any thought about it. He just snap responded. Actually, I'm a C-section baby, so I have no sense of direction. Jeez. And I was like, what? And I was commenting with Kirby that night, and we're just like, did we hear that right? Like what? But no one on the table was laughing because he said it so like nonchalant. No, excuse me. Mustafa was actually with the best hand. Didn't see that jack there.
I can't win.
Jack.
7 and 8.
Nice.
Jack City.
Better two pair for
Jack
Mustafa.
A lot of money.
Thank you.
All right. Always on the lookout for a big low from Sapine. I think it's going to happen at some point tonight as a bluff, but we'll see.
I mean, I didn't mention that. I think every stream that I've seen him play on, he's done at least one overbet per stream, whether he had it or not. Which that's great. That's exactly what I want to be doing when you're betting over the pot. Or
Oh yeah, you need to have a lot of bluffs, otherwise people just fold. Ratio of bluffs to value, very important. Very important.
hey, look at that! OFC Sean in the chat. What's up, Sean?
What's up, OC?
Got Derek and Kyle Z in the chat or commentating booth tonight. Sorry, I had a long day.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm usually in the chat. Sapine raising it up from key 9. Hijack.
An option of playing poker or blackjack.
See how he handles this. Got position on both these
I
guys.
mean, one
Not,
like,
Not the best flop.
not the best flop, but yep. Just gonna just check it. If it was a multi-way, he might have thrown out a bet there, but multi-way, man, you just want to be checking more there, especially on this board. I don't really blame him for sort of waving the white flag here.
Every hand. Right here.
Especially when that one-liner comes on the turn, it's just you can't really represent much that could get other hands to fold. That might be like one pair, two pair holdings.
Yeah, for sure. You know, OFC said amazing commentary. You know, thank you. I appreciate that. I will say, OFC, I think you have the best thinking face on the stream. Like when you're popping your knuckles and stuff, it looks like very dramatic. It's very good TV. Love it.
Is it yours?
You play good too, but I'm just saying, you know, thinking face.
Let's go.
that'll make,
Let's mix it up, huh?
that'll make you feel better.
Belvedere. It's a Belvedere.
Let's mix it up. You're drinking with me, right?
I agree.
He's like, I'm too cracked out already.
Where's Phil?
So the PFR percentage, that stands for pre-flop raise percentage.
The peach or whatever it is.
So that doesn't necessarily mean how many hands they're playing. VPIP would probably be better representation of that. I mean, if you don't know what that means, it means voluntary put into pots.
Anytime you put in money that wasn't required.
Yeah, it wasn't a blind. I think technically straddles count toward your VPIP. So like you might think someone's like playing really tight all the stream, but you see your VPIP higher, but they're straddling every hand. So that.
Gotcha.
He didn't really say, and I didn't want to.
You know, it should. Straddles should count towards your VPIP.
For sure, yeah.
I'm not sure that the system does it that way, but I hope that's true.
At least I think
Seems
ours
to be
does.
working.
I don't know
Borrow
if it,
your
like,
beads for a while.
Let's just change it.
yeah.
Encourage the straddle.
Well, it seems to be working pretty well.
Derek, how long have you been playing poker, man?
I started playing senior year of college, actually. So,
How often do they do draws?
10 years now.
Oh, man.
It's every,
Yeah.
it's a bounty.
Not. I wouldn't even say seriously though until probably the last like, not seriously, like professionally, but like taking it more as like a serious hobby.
One of the first
Probably the
places I
past
was the
4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, probably first 6 years I was just playing for fun for sure.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I played at the very first Texas Card House in Austin. So like I was just I had heard about legal rooms in Dallas, the poker rooms over Texas.
Sure.
And then I was like, well, I'm living in Austin right now. I'll check it out when I graduate UT.
Gotcha.
And then so I was
Take
like
your wife to a
Googling,
fancy dinner last night.
legal room, Austin, and that's when I found Texas Card House, Austin, and it was literally just in
He's a big
like
fan of Titanic and
Hell, y'all saw the 3D?
the 3D thing.
separate
Was it good?
build. What do they call those? The
Rose
portable
is an
buildings.
absolute bitch. I don't know what everybody's.
Like at the old like in high schools, they had those like outside portable buildings where like at a
First of
construction
all,
site.
she's cheating on her
Those-
fiancé.
It looked like that,
Okay.
and it was only like 6
Yeah,
tables.
that
guy's not a nice guy.
And yeah, that's where I
He's an
first
asshole,
played.
fine, but so
a
get
lot of poker.
disengaged.
Look at that,
Don't cheat
OC
on
Sean,
your fiancé. Then
$49.99 super chat.
Then she doesn't let
Go
Leo
deep
on
and
the fucking
stop
door. They could have both
free fire.
survived, all right?
Thank you
Okay.
so much,
I saw the
John.
course.
Was it a door?
Yeah.
Appreciate the
They could have
support.
both done it. All right, that's the second thing. Third, then she takes the diamond, doesn't say shit for 85 years, and then instead of selling
Not a
it,
very
and trying to
exciting
cure
flop
cancer
here
or
for
feeding the
either-
world, what'd she do? She
for any
throws it
hand.
over the fucking boat.
I agree with you. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's when I first got into poker.
Let's get a
Was
campaign
at that card
now.
room, and then
I'm glad
when I
Jeff
graduated,
Austin
I was finding out they were just going to
That's
open up a new
nice.
location in Austin, but that's when I was moving back to Dallas, and that's when I found
What
poker
an
in Texas.
excellent analysis.
I think I remember seeing you there, but we never actually met there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Not until
Definitely played there.
probably what, a year later or so.
I know I'm in big
Yeah.
trouble because you're starting to
I
make
used-
sense to
I used to like that movie until you just gave me the breakdown.
No,
I don't
man.
like that movie anymore.
It took 3D glasses for me to figure it out.
Actually, kind of funny. Quite a few of the dealers here actually used to work at Poker in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't.
So, like Steve Ruiz, Adam Mitchell, I think Q worked there. Yeah, it was like,
Got him.
It's crazy how much of a fan it is for poker in Dallas. Just absolutely. I was just talking to some Fort Worth guys. Actually, Brady that played the stream last night. I was talking to him, and he was just talking about some of the rooms over there in Fort Worth and like how much traffic they get. It's just amazing in the DFW area how many people play poker?
What did you show? I didn't see.
Yeah, no, and
straight.
I've kind of heard people question, like, us opening our second location in Las Colinas, and I'm like, I think it'll be
it's
fine.
fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Honestly, I mean, you've seen how long the list can get here.
Yeah.
There's literally people that still know that we exist.
Yeah.
And that second location, much more open to the public. So people literally just driving by are going to see TCH. And they'd be like, "What is that?" And then
There's plenty of demand. Plenty.
the thing I'm kind of excited about, right, is which might be the difference between this style poker room and a casino, right? Casino, you have people that just walk by the poker room and be like, "Oh, I'll try out poker,"
Sure.
because they've never done it before.
Long. Second time.
Kind of brings in a lot of action, brings in new faces.
The first time you watched it.
The new location right next to a bunch of restaurants.
Oh, there you go.
And nice restaurants at that too, right? People walking by is like, "Oh, I didn't even know they had a poker room in Texas."
So yeah, people walking by, but less angry than the people at the casino. Also opponents.
Exactly. Yes, they didn't already lose money through roulette.
Yeah. You ever notice that? Like in these rooms, you don't have the same level of anger that.
Here in the water,
yeah,
you're
for
watching
sure.
the boat ride.
For sure.
Yeah,
A lot of
I
nice.
got it. Yeah. And I'm drinking an extra large, whatever. Yeah.
I did like playing at Windstar though when they had Backstreet Boy concerts, or country
For
concerts.
Christmas,
There you
I
go.
got him a piece of the boat that was used on the
Top pair for Danny.
in the movie.
Gonna bet flop and bet turn. Pretty standard with his holding here. Given the fact that he doesn't have any spades, much more likely Randy could have a flush draw here.
Menus.
Oh, really?
And weaker kings, he could still get value from.
Difference between first class and student.
Did you go to the Dallas when they brought the Titanic?
Especially given how, and when you're trying to figure out your opponent's range here, you always want to try to go back and game ball, right? When, like you said, when they just limp, they're capping their range. Right? And
Probably not aces, right?
yeah, probably not aces, probably not even pocket nines.
3 or 4 years ago, but you
Like
actually
the
got to
only hand that you
you
lose,
actually got to
yeah,
stick your hand in a hole.
like the only hand you really lose in that spot is probably like
Part of the
king.
actual ship.
Right?
It's
That's a
pretty
hand you could
hairy
think
because
of.
it's like being
A
there
lot of
and
other
the
king
whole
X
thing.
holding bases, limping, king X suited hands that you get crushed.
Well, you touch the
I mean, you can see it. You can just put your
That
hand
being
in
said,
it.
again, I always want
You
to
can see
preface
it,
this.
but
This is like
it wasn't
poker.
like
There
just-
are all kinds of things
Anything
that
can
work.
happen.
You know, I imagine some of these players would tell us like, "Hey,
Look at
my
how they
limping
travel around
actually
the
works
US
out a lot." Okay,
I'll play that game with my
I
wife
mean,
tonight.
fair enough, man. Especially in a game like this, there's going to be all different roads to Rome.
She's actually doing.
But they had all the different levels like set up of what the rims really look like from the little peasant people in the bottom all the way to the the nice
Beautiful
rims.
hand, ace ten suited on the button.
Tons of history.
Love to see it.
People that lived and died.
Carlos is
All
probably going
kinds
to give
of
this a
stuff that they
call.
had taken off the actual ship that you could see.
All right, this will be a good flop to watch. Come on, give each of them a piece of it. That's it. Who's dealing? Who's that?
Christy.
Oh, Christy, yeah. Angel of Death. Come on. Put it out there.
Heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they travel around the.
You know, Carlos is going to flop top pair, but Habib usually not one to give up, especially if it's heads up, right? Like he knows he can put a lot of pressure, especially with Carlos leading out here, which
It had.
is going to raise Habib's eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, you put this in the solvers. I don't know about this flop, but some flops you'll have leads. A lot of people, though, just generally just check their entire range. That's fine. Just move on from there. It's generally correct across a lot of boards, and it just makes playing a little easier. It also protects. You need to, like, when you're leading out like that, also called the donk bet, you need to think about the fact that you could be weakening your check range because you're leading out with like top pair hands, and all of a sudden when you check you don't have those anymore. So it could make you weaker on the check side if you start leading out like that.
The real passenger as you went through, and then you get to go and look at the end and see if your person lived or
That
died.
being said, Carlos could have been thinking something along the lines of, Habib, if he has like second pairs, I want, I don't want to have him check back. I want to get some value there.
Oh, wow.
Aces versus kings. Danny's just going to lose a
my
lot of money.
goodness.
I mean,
Are you serious?
He's not going to lose probably the full 10. Well, it's only 200 big blinds, isn't it? Oh no, because the 50's on.
Is 50 on?
I think so.
So then it's
On the actual
Danny just called 225.
it looks like it, and that might, depending on what the flop brings here, this might save Danny a ton of money. But
Wow. Okay. Maybe like we missed a 3-bet or something. I'm not sure.
They're that old.
Wow, what a flat by Danny.
yeah,
He has very specific reasons for flatting that spot instead of 4-betting. Guarantee you.
so I mean, okay, so let's go back to the pre-flop action, right? So it was a $50 straddle, and Habib made it 225. quite a larger size raise,
Oh,
right?
that is-
And that might have raised a little bit. I mean, even
why
with
it's
kings though,
that
king,
large.
it's yeah. I was trying to give Danny some credit there, but that's
Nah, he's got.
No, I'm not happy.
What is going on?
Still gonna call.
Does Danny not have kings? Oh, is he betting big? He's betting big. Okay.
he bet almost 2x pot.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
It's pretty intimidating when you see
Man,
those people in there.
what's Spidey sense, Danny? I mean, good lord.
Blind guidance will get them to help on your side.
You hear the
I mean, so say if it was like Khabib a year ago, right? I would have been like, oh yeah, he has aces or kings here if he's raising 4x pre-flop. But I mean, we've seen him get out of line, raise some hands
Gotcha.
pre-flop. So I don't see how Danny could fold here.
Okay.
Like,
So, man,
Khabib could easily have jacks or
Oh
queens here.
my god.
I think,
Oh my god.
I think
I'm
so.
not sure about the side call and the flop, Danny, but all right, you know. As far as like, you know, you don't want to give away your hand.
5,000.
But Danny has like very specific reasons for playing this way. This is very interesting.
Wow, I mean, you were asking for a crazy hand last hand. I think we
This
got
is-
it this hand here.
This is a crazy hand.
Another overbet for a beat. This time, about 1.5x.
So, man, Danny might be getting in his head a little bit here. Although I will say, the longer Danny thinks, in my opinion, the better decisions he generally makes. Just watching him. And that's not true of everybody, by the way. But a lot of people, the longer they think, the worse they do.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's that? I mean, it goes back to that old time saying, right? Think long, think wrong.
Yeah.
And but let's see if Danny can figure this one out here. I mean,
He might. I mean, he's what he's thinking right now is, man, I flatted these kings pre. I'm underrepresented, right?
so it's much harder to put Khabib on a hand when you haven't free bet, and then he might have re-raised pre-flop. Then you can narrow the range to queens and aces, ace king.
But he's still, man.
What's so crazy about this though? I've seen Khabib overbet like this with just like this an overpair as bad as tens. So that has to be running through Danny's mind though. But he's staring him down. He's trying to get a read here.
I'm so fascinated that Danny like talking to him during the hand, on the flop, on the turn here. Like Danny has watched some tape or knows Khabib pretty well. Something is going on because this is not how Danny usually is.
They have a lot of hours with each other.
Yeah.
He guesses wrong when you comp him for lunch.
Took my money
Wow.
the other day.
Well, you're trying to give me 10 more right now.
It's still in there. Still in there. If you're lucky, you get it. If it's not, I got it.
You have aces?
I think I gotta put 5,000 if I have ace. I gotta put 600 or check you base.
So what do you have?
Aces. I told you 10 this, you don't believe me.
Oh,
This
man,
is
if
so
you have 10 days,
interesting.
You're gonna make me
Yeah,
look
just
like
trying
an
to let it
idiot.
fall.
Don't worry. Everything is gonna be. Come on, man.
Sorry, everybody. This is a
10 people over here.
tough spot. Alright, I'll just fold.
Cashback.
What a
come.
goat. The goat.
You folded kings?
Oh my
You
god.
folded kings, for sure.
That's what it
Show
is.
it to him.
That's
Show him the
honest.
bluff
I
one
gotta-
time.
I gotta trust, but if you lie, I'm
He's
not
got a
gonna trust.
he's got a set.
Yeah, for sure.
Habib, show one. Show one.
Show the bluff, Habib, one time.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's just playing off his image. You know, he probably gets paid like that all the time. But
Was it a River King?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
the torture of Texas Hold'em. You know.
$5,000.
Finally, Kings win.
That's how you know Habib's running good.
Oh,
that he got kings to fold. When
No
typically
good,
most,
no
like any other player would call, they would river that set and somehow he avoids disaster.
Then he played again. Doesn't
Oh
matter
my
what.
goodness!
Can you imagine he
What a
folds
hand.
and then he shows you
So I
king,
think
king?
everybody watching can agree that this is an absolutely great game. And one thing I would suggest to
20K
people,
pot, all I have to
when
do
you're
is
involved in a game like this and you're trying really hard, if one of the action guys asks you to do something, don't say no. And a good metric is if you're saying no all the time in a game like this, you're saying no way too much, right? It's okay to give a little back. You're fine. You're in a great game. Just something I've seen from some of the regs, they're just not in Dallas, the lower limits. They're just not willing to give back.
I played a different.
It's very important to keep this fun atmosphere going. You know, it's very important to sort of contribute to a game like this. Just a piece of advice for everybody out there.
I mean, just to add on to that, which I absolutely agree with you. Too often do I see people not want to participate in, like, say, a bomb pod, right?
Sure.
And that's a high variance, fun thing that some players really enjoy, right? But then if they see you as that one player that's like constantly playing at it, right, and then they know that you're very solid and good players, they're not going to want to play with you.
Yeah.
It's
They'll change tables, right?
As I don't know if I want to put it like this, but I've heard someone put it in the podcast once, like, you got to throw them a bone every now and then. Have fun, make it enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, especially in like we were talking about, Dallas is a place where you have repeat business.
I know, that's why I thought you had
Repeat business place, you know, it's all about, did people have fun? You know, people are completely willing to come out and lose some money, gamble some money away. But if they're not having fun, they're not going to keep coming back out, right? So it's one of the things that makes Dallas poker special.
Man, that might be the hand of the night.
Danny, man.
Oh my gosh.
I agree with OFC though. Habib has God mode on. He can't be touched.
Was put in the money when he was ahead, and put in. I mean, he didn't lose anything when the river came. The river didn't.
Probably.
It's all going well.
Probably. And then they get lucky too.
Such a nice hand from Mustafa. Actually, somehow this pot got relatively large.
Good job, Christy, putting out that room, by the way.
He beats all you
Told you,
guys
she's the
and
angel
he
of
goes
death.
Yeah.
He's the only winner in all this.
I just gave you $2,000. 14.
Got about 200 of y'all joining us here tonight. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We got our usual 5, 10, and quarter action Wednesday night. It's Hump Day. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And commentators Derek and Kyle Z. Look at that.
How do you say that last name? Okay, man.
All right, you got one less letter than me.
Yeah, there you go.
You're the first person I met with just a singular letter for their last name.
Oh yeah.
I'll call.
I can't. Yeah. Can you call for cocktails?
Just got the
Thank you.
Cocktails.
got the curse of winning the flip.
I need a drink after seeing that here.
Man.
Obviously, didn't like the big bet, but it worked out. Yeah.
You bet less.
Never trying to be
You lose.
results oriented, but my
It is good
goodness.
you bet 2,000.
But that would have been a 20K pot if
You would have lost otherwise.
Very good later.
I mean, not it. Just how. Golly. I mean, from every street, his spidey senses are taking, right? Pre-flop, flop, turn.
That was something. I mean, I hate calling out. I mean, you got to, when you're commentating on live stream, you just got to be real about it. But man, he saw something. You know, whether it's betting patterns or whatever it is, you know, he knew something was up.
Raise 100.
Yeah, for any of our tournament players out there, we do have a really fun tournament going on tonight. $200 jackpot value. But hold on here, as Saints going to put on the squeeze play here. King, queen suited, good removal, and a solid hand here.
Solid hand to 3-bet for sure.
People smart to go there.
Yep. And Danny, I would imagine a lot of times he'll play 3-bet or fold in the spot, but against certain players, he's probably going to have some exploited flats, if I had to guess. The plan tonight is to give away all of Danny's secrets. So tune in. We're gonna try to analyze and give away all of Danny's secrets. The GOAT. Nice fold, Danny. I mean, goodness. I mean, what I do is I just shrug and I put the money in. And I guess I won that time. Yeah, I won that theoretical hand. You know?
Me too.
But usually I'm just the dunce that just says, well, I can't fold, and then loses all kinds of money.
See, I would have leveled myself saying, like, you know, he's telling me he has aces here, but I didn't raise him pre-flop. So he could literally have jacks, queens.
Finding all the excuses to call.
Yeah, it's like, well, you're going to go back. I underrep myself. I call. I did this to trap, right? What's so crazy, he might have called, right, with the intention of trapping Habib there. And he's just like, oh my god, my mind just flipped here.
Yeah. Great play game.
175.
Might be heads up again here between Randy and Habib. Habib getting in the mix.
Oh, 175.
And Randy, I'm sure, is like, oh, great, okay.
The guy who can't lose right
The
now.
guy who can't lose. Here we go, out of position. All right. Good flop. Quality flop.
350.
Yeah, Jay, I mean, everyone on the stream actually tonight is pretty much a regular player here on our stream. Probably the one that plays least is Randy. He did play last week, but I guess he had such a good time last week he decided to come back.
He's awesome.
This tournament's popular. Really popular.
I think other than Saturday, Tuesday is the most popular, followed by.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you know, Safine's almost advertising for us here. Yeah, the tournament this Wednesday. I'm gonna pull up the graphic here.
Outdo Tuesday now.
Look at that, $200
Any race
buy-in, jackpot bounty.
75.
Every player you knock out, you get a $50 bounty, but you also get to draw from a basket here. And one of those 300 tickets, $5,000 jackpot. And you know, last Wednesday we got about 128 entrants, I think. And the $5,000 got drawn in the first tournament.
It's a buy-in? I have no idea what the buy-in is, actually. You know what the buy-in is for this, Chris? For this tournament?
200, they said.
200 with a bounty.
Dual action, Carlos?
Yeah, slam dunk call. Yep.
I'll give it action.
Yeah, that was
I have a decent
He's probably
hand.
going to check all the blocks here.
Not an amazing hand, just decent.
Check actually that one.
Yeah, black's on for that.
That's dry as hell. It's really good for Carlos. You can just range bet this for like a third pot. Call it done. Carlos likes a little bit bigger size. It's all right.
You win.
What'd you have?
7, 8 of diamonds.
Yeah, on a flop like that, you want your
Yeah,
opponent to be
almost
floating
3
with
bet
everything, right?
You
Every
put a-
backdoor possible, right? Backdoor close, backdoor diamonds, backdoor hearts. You just have so much of the board there.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the response that your opponent's supposed to have in that spot, when you're betting that small, they're supposed to call with a lot of like ace eyes and king eyes, and just a lot of people just don't. And they muck those, so you automatically win expected value there. It's just in poker you put pressure on hands in different ways, and in that spot you're putting pressure on a lot of the hands that just didn't connect with that small bet. A lot of people think pressure is just with big bets, but you can put pressure with small bets as well if their range is constructed a certain way.
Right, because if they're just folding everything, if they're playing two fit or fold there,
Yeah.
and they're just folding everything there that doesn't connect, then you're almost then you're exploiting it, right? Because you know that they're never. Huh?
Then it's just a money machine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they're never calling with anything.
Yeah. And that's just naturally going to be a spot where 3-bet caller is at a disadvantage on that board. You can't really
Yeah,
do much about it.
we will play a big one with
Chris
Habib
here
today.
put on a massive 3-bet here.
Kings versus aces.
Last default, 5
Well, I guess given the position, yeah, it's about
He's out.
about 5x. So I mean, it's pretty. I guess it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, he's out.
it's totally fine. Now when that flop comes, it's going to come 10-6-4 rainbow, but he will continue the small bet here.
Anybody wondering, like, open the button, someone 3-bet you the small blind, you're probably going to be calling with ace-8 of clubs unless the guy just, like, never ever 3-bets. Even so, when you're deep, you could call anyway, even if he doesn't 3-bet a lot.
Are you going to be betting most flops? Are you going to be betting most flop? Are you going to be betting that flop with your entire range there, or you just have some checks?
The Jack 4-4 one?
No, sorry, with this hand.
Let's see. Probably my man. So when it's like small blind versus a button call, it's a different 3-betting situation than like cutoff versus hijack. So you will check a lot more just because you're out of position. You're also going to have a ton of high cards on this flop that just whiff.
Right.
So probably not going to do range checking, although it is pretty dry. Or range betting is pretty dry. I don't know. Probably go back and forth. Probably player dependent there is probably what I would say.
He's going to check over to J-Rock. You're going to give him the green light as he goes check on the turn, and then check again on the river. Green light to try to go for the bet here, take the spot down. He can have all the 8-9s. That might call flop, right? So
Really
he has
hard
that
to
8.
Really hard to get people to full pair boards and hold them. I just it's something that I've seen. I don't know if you've seen it, but man, if you're in sort of passive line of the game tree where it goes check on a
Oh my gosh!
on a
And
river,
like you say,
you know, on a pair board, it's just a lot easier to make that ace king high call. All the power to J Rock, by the way, for making the call. But
I mean, and he had a decent hole in to do it with too, right? He could have having that 8 of clubs, right? He could have the straight.
10 on the board. You got
Try to get destroyed all night.
16. As soon as I bet, I was like,
Yeah, very nice call there.
more than that.
Whole table impressed.
hats off to making the bluff there as well. You know,
It sure did.
Folding mood.
it's gonna pay off
You
for
should have
them
heard
all.
me singing in German last night.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry?
You're not in a folding mood right now.
Yeah.
That was on
Been there.
Hey, sometimes switch it around for me.
I was doing Chris Moneymaker's, was the show or no?
Yeah, flash.
You don't want to. King no good.
King of diamonds.
You're doing it for
No, no,
Moneymaker?
no. What's that?
You're doing it for Moneymaker?
No, that's what he sang at karaoke, like his.
Oh, 99
go away
Love
part.
Balloon?
That was it. And people were like,
Riz gonna
"Dude,
open the action
I don't know
again.
what song you're talking about, so I had to sing it for
With the
him.
ace queen.
But I did the German.
It looks like the $50 straddle might be on for a lot of the night here. Mustafa going to defend.
That's right before we call
Shoot.
Banana, but when he sings it, it's like 9-9.
King of diamonds. Green card.
He'll be back.
I thought he was already.
Will
gonna
come
read that,
ace
but
queen
maybe-
ace all clubs. Top 2 pair for Grizz.
I thought originally he was coming in January.
Not much anything for Mustafa.
I told him that we had permanently banned him from the card club, and then was confused.
A couple weeks ago when I got that card. And he must have go right.
He's in Germany right now, right?
That's what I thought.
Look at that. Habib up about 6,900. Carlos up about 17. Mustafa up 1,000. And Randy up 800. Everyone else in the red looking to battle back. If you're just now joining us, welcome to TCH Live. Commentating over some 5-10 and quarter action here this Wednesday evening. Rich Mike here going to limp in with a pocket 5s. And this might be the 4th or 5th time that Sabina's 3-bet Danny. And see if Danny decides to either play back at Safine or come into the pot here, finally see a flop. And I think we'll see a flop here, how deep they are.
So I'm guessing under the gun is actually the straddle, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It doesn't readjust for it. But yeah, it was a straddle pot, and I think there's going to be a lot of straddles for the rest of the night.
Yeah, especially deep. You're not going to be doing as much 4-betting. If we were like 100 big blinds deep, Danny might do some 4-betting with 9s. Some, not a lot. You're supposed to do it at a lower frequency, but
Yeah, given that it is a straddle pot, right? So they're only, I say only, that's 200 big blinds deep here.
200 big blinds still pretty deep. Yeah, you know, I hear you. What you mean, Texas? This sucks. I wouldn't blame Danny for just folding them, but you know, at the equilibrium, you just call this and play turns, and you're just gonna have to fold a lot, unfortunately. But don't blame him if he's just like, you know what? I'm just getting out now. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really think of many turn cards you like for that whole thing, right? I mean, heart, you're kind of put in the tough spot even you think if they have ace king.
Yeah, when you make a call like that on the flop with 9s, you're not really trying. What you're trying to do is make sure you don't fold too high of a percentage of your range, and you're just accepting that on a lot of turns you're just going to be dumping the 9s. You know, it's just something that happens against a decent player like Sabine.
Yeah, given especially like as the pre-flop 3-better, if he's gonna bet flop, he's barreling almost every turn, right? It's tough to think of any turn card he's not gonna barrel, right?
For sure. he still needs to do it. You know, a lot of times it's just poker's about sort of playing the right way and then
175.
turning the ball over to your opponent, putting it in their court, and then they're supposed to play the right way, right? So, and if they don't, you make money, make a little extra.
175.
But again, I don't blame Danny. He's just like, with mine specifically, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it.
You're running me over there.
It's a long way, though.
Interesting flop here. Got gut shot, backdoor, spades.
You gonna see a little
For
check
Grizz.
raise?
No, we're still waiting for.
Bridge Mike, you gonna do a little check
Come over
raise?
here and
Yeah,
take the order.
Ridgemite really does this every stream. It makes me so nervous when he has his cards so far out. He just leaves them on the
With Grizz, I
sensor
also
there.
drink. Every time I play with Grizz, I end up drinking.
Look at that. Both players going to turn second pair.
Yeah, right?
Both of them turning draws as well. Bridge Mike now open-ended. Grizz still with his gut shot. Now has spades to go along with his pair.
Yeah, a good. This is a good hand to check back with, in my opinion. You
And he does
you
check
win
back.
sometimes. You know, you got nuts on the spade runouts.
Oh, and that's the money card there. I mean, it does go. There are 4 spades now. Bridge Mike does have a straight. Might be a meaningless straight to him.
Sure. This is where I would probably think in an exploitive framework. Who is my player? What type of bet size are they willing to call with what type of hands, rather than trying to, play perfectly or whatever you want to call it.
Against Bridge Mike specifically, probably a very, very small bet here.
Yeah.
Maybe even like $100.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not going to work out here. Bridge Mike never calling here unless he has. Oh wow. Right.
What do we know?
I eat my own words.
What do we know?
But I mean, I guess were you agreeing with me for a little bit there?
Yeah,
Right?
of course, yeah.
I wanted the scene to go for like 100 there. Eke out as much value, but maybe that would be too. I don't know.
He showed us. I love that about poker. Poker is like it's an imperfect information game built on opinions. And
There's technically
that
never
player's
one right
opinion?
way to play, right?
yeah, that player's opinion was way better than ours at that point in that spot.
And that must just say, I mean, a lot about Griz's image right now, huh?
Probably.
Wow.
Bridge Mike, definitely one of my favorite people that I've met since playing at TCH Dallas. If you ever play with him, highly recommend talking to him and just talk to him about Bridge, his life. He's got a lot of good stories.
Yeah, there's quite a few players with some stories. I don't want to say his name, but there's a player here that I played with, and he's a regular as well. He's played with Stu Unger.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think he has a chest bracelet as well. I know it's a little chillier in here, so if you need a space heater, there is a space heater right there.
Space. No, I don't. After a while, so much McDonald's, you just stay insulated. I mean, you're all right. You just wear shorts anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about, right? I mean, so like 200 big blind poker is considered relatively deep stack, right? And like we casually play in 2-5 games that are $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 deep. So 1,000 big blinds deep plus, and it's just like that's just what everyone's used to here. There's no. It's not really
relax, dude.
studied. that depth of poker.
I will say the
saw wrong.
higher you go in Texas, the 5 to 25 games or the 25 games,
Now I have to play it.
100s, it's going to play
Here, look.
more around
No luck
200 to 100 big blinds.
I'll show you.
More often.
See? Not lying.
But yeah, if you're playing on the 2-5, it's going to be 1,000 big blinds, so you go a lot of spots. Yeah, we got Bridge Mike popping it up. Some disguised jacks where they limped for 50. What does Grizz do with his jacks? Is he gonna? Oh, I guess that would be a 4-bet by now. Okay. So being raised to 200, Bridge Mike 3-bet to 675. What do you do with the jacks here now that you're underrepresented? You got 6K. Problematic, right?
Yeah.
So much easier if it was like bet, 3-bet, 4-bet. A little bit of a spot.
the limp calling the 3-bet. Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very, very common in live poker. So I might see here, but we haven't seen Bridge Mike enter the pot yet tonight with a raise, so it's got to be raising alarm bells for Bridge.
Derek, it's Derek and Kyle Z.
Yeah, Kyle Z are one of our players from our Tuesday live stream. Wearing the black shirt tonight.
Oh, of course. Got to.
Thank you for tuning in, Pui.
Oh, man. So on these monotone boards, what a lot of people don't know is you should probably be betting anywhere from like 15 to 25% when you do bet, and it's not going to be with your whole range. So if anybody hasn't studied that, I'd highly recommend you might want to study monotone boards in single raise pots and 3-bet pots.
15, 20% of the pot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're betting a lot smaller, but it's not with the raise, so it feels very counterintuitive when you study the spot. But you'd be surprised how well that works.
I could see how that makes sense, just because you give your opponent rope to kind of raise with a wider variety of hands, right? And then if you have it holding exactly like Ace-King, you're happily going to call, right?
And your opponent's response, they shouldn't actually raise you that much. I mean, it's very weird. I would highly suggest, if you guys are into the study, that you dive into monotone boards. It's very counterintuitive on how you should play them. Pretty fun to study.
It is going to go check on the flop, but wow, and Grizz just going to...
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. In his mind, he's got like an overpair, or if he has a diamond, he has a lot of equity against him. Like, he's not like a spot at all, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, you were close. You were pretty close.
You know, and...
Glad I could be somebody's favorite player. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, look at that. But, Bridge Mike might come off as like, a relatively tighter player, but he's definitely capable of turning that hand into a bluff if he arrives on the river and it doesn't hit any of his cards. Really willing to or trying to put max fold equity against those like jacks and queens.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. If Bridge Mike was losing, he wouldn't be playing poker. That's just kind of his personality. He's been a winner. He's been a winner for years. There's a reason for that.
Mike, have you ever lost on stream? Have you ever lost on stream?
I didn't see.
Every time you beat me.
I don't think you've ever lost.
That's literally it's almost. Is Danny like listening to us?
I guess we get to push your rant twice.
Danny just asked him if he's ever lost on stream. And then like Mike redirected. He's just like, oh, every time you're playing.
It's like Jedi
You never asked that question.
I didn't see how you could have a hand you could call.
Yeah, if it would have been two diamonds on board, man. But 3, I thought you might have flopped it.
Yeah, especially when
Especially when you checked it.
checked it on the big bet.
Yeah, you played it well.
I was going to come over the top to get bet the flop, so.
And you're gonna
seen
call my
Safine in this game do a lot more calling.
Yeah, for sure.
When in other games that I play with him, he does a lot more raising. I think that says sort of what his assessment is about the lineup.
Yeah,
I think he's probably under the impression that people are just not going to fold to his races as much in this game.
On a king high board.
Yeah, so he's just toning down the aggression a little bit.
Now turns a gut shot to go along with his flush draw. I'll be interested to see how Safine proceeds here.
Very impressed with his restraint, because Safine is a guy that loves to be the aggressor. So.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he's watched these streams, or he's played on the streams before. He's watched these before. He kind of knows a player like Mustafa or JR. Very unlikely to pull the top pair holder again. Wow, what a run out!
For sure. I mean, there's one thing about like knowing what to do, but actually executing the game is actually very hard. Like going against sort of who you are as a sort of person and a poker player is a very hard thing to do.
I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Look at this, rivered trips for both Mustafa and J-Rock. Though J-Rock has the check mark here.
775.
Miss you.
Fireworks.
Miss you.
I appreciate it.
And holding like King Jack here.
Money at this table sounds like that's what that means.
Let's see, what was it?
I have a king.
Was Mustafa the initial raiser, it looks like?
Yep.
So very possible that J-Rock could be outkicked here, but never folding here. But I guess you got to decide if you're raising or just calling.
Good people.
Is like 50 so is it a jam? I don't know. I don't want to blame him for flatting.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I always just go back to pre-flop, right? I mean, as the initial raise, he very likely could have a better king.
Sure.
if I'm
I'm in the
as a
middle.
player that's leading out, or he's betting into two other people too on that river card.
You jam, like,
Oh, nice.
is he going to call you a king 8? If he's not, then the jam is a torch. So,
He tricked me.
things that go on in a poker player's mind, you'll be tortured by these
seen
questions.
Rounders?
The
Yeah.
entire
Rounders?
life of you playing.
He's going to play the rest of it.
Nice hand there for J-Rock. Gonna get even now.
Would have gone different if we were the only two.
I watched the game before without playing. So.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a roller coaster over here, Jay.
Yeah, he's bumping it up with
25,
ace king suited.
50
What a pretty hand.
sometimes.
Thanks. I know we got +2, so this is actually going to be a pretty tight opening spot
So you said
for
five,
Danny.
five.
Danny does respect position for the most part.
No one can play any middle hand.
Called a little wide, and it's probably going to be nothing. Oh, we got. No, we don't have spades. Too bad.
What's happening in Wolf?
I don't know. No one's coming.
I agree with that size.
I think
Wet
they're
board.
just really busy.
I thought it was the beam again.
What's that?
Make it a little bit bigger.
I just fold every time I play Danny. I just fold.
You can pretend.
I honestly did.
One thing to think about multi-way too is
This way since
when you get
Can I get a
multi-way,
rebate? I thought I
half
was
pot
playing
is actually a
W.
big size.
I'll take the small
You
one.
can size down
Right,
a little. You can size down a little bit because the other players put pressure on your opponent. So you're actually going to be betting smaller
Danny?
multi-way,
Or
and you're going to be betting less often. Just because there are more players in the pot, more people that can beat you, and then again, like we talked about before,
I've been a good master.
you don't have to use a big size. The pressure is there just by having other players in the pot.
Bricks have to freshen the cups up, Danny.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Bricks have to freshen our cups up.
It's spots where people are willing to float with more hands. Heads up. It's safe to worry about. Well, if I put in the call here, I'm just burning money. If the other three players behind me just putting in a big raise or jam all in,
Carlos,
right?
I'm guessing you're a fan of the old
Definitely a lot to consider. More multi-way than heads up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Beautiful
good.
pan,
That's
ace loose suited on the button. What dreams are made of.
I've had
This is a
some
spot
nicknames
from
like on
Grizz that I think
poker.
3-betting makes a lot of
Randy, I like
sense.
this hand, man. Can
Many clubs.
we just do it for 100?
I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's okay. Randy, he's so good.
He's not calling. How come he's not calling?
This hand's my favorite hand. Always two pair set or full house.
You should raise.
Again, I want to sort of point everybody to the dynamics of the game that's happening. Look how happy and everybody is. Look at how the money's going in the center. Please don't be the player that says no in this game. Always say yes.
White the flop here.
Oh man.
And Habib would have flopped top pair, better kicker than Grizz, but it's going to be top pair against a draw. Tail is all this time, right, in poker.
Always a perfect amount.
And this time, though, we have the draw betting out here. Kind of trying to rep what Grizz currently has, a top pair holding or over pair.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd probably just I might just put in a small check raise at 600 in this because you gain a lot of it'd be like protection check raise with the 9 here because there are a ton of
If I
open
can nail it
cards.
exactly, I'll give you some odds.
But calling's just fine as well. No big deal.
I bet I can guess your favorite hand.
Yeah, exactly. I can guess your first ever hand. How about that?
I remember the first hand I was dealt in live.
Yeah, the check raise makes a lot of sense on the flop occasion, right, with the smaller sizing. But now that your opponent shows some aggression here on the turn, much less likely to put in your value owning yourself here. You're putting yourself in a tough spot. If they do just call, and what do you do, right? You blow it at the pot now with kind of a weak top pair. So I do like the call here. Keeps the bluffs if he does have any bluffs still, and then you're not value owning yourself.
Plenty of hearts. I mean, it's a button raise, so the guy has plenty of hearts. You still beat those. Completely okay to just check call this.
I was 7 years old.
Now has top 2 pair, though the board is paired, so it's irrelevant against the over pairs.
Doesn't beat those over pairs, unfortunately. But in this spot, just check again. See if your opponent gives up.
Would you ever have an argument for a blocker bet here? But no, right? Because of all the over pairs that your opponent's repping.
Yeah, I'm just not doing a blocker bet here for sure.
Singos were really popular.
Yeah, I like that because of just what you said.
But your opponent has been repping very strong on 2 streets.
Pretty easy for you.
But no, not even a blocker bet here. Just kind of. Interesting here. I mean,
Not a day
Except
over
for
39.
54, he looks pretty
Riz has some
Well, I
heart.
mean, I have to.
at this point, you can almost argue he's turning his hand into a bluff
Because, oh, you look like a 40.
because you're only ever getting
That's
called
what I said.
by overpairs. At this point, you're like trying to fold out an overpair, which would be very interesting
T-shirts
player.
does look pretty good for 54.
Unfortunate for him, he had nothing.
Yep. Well, the cat says players are
Grizz is running us
definitely
over.
afraid of monotone flops. I kind of agree
Take a
with
stance.
you. I think people just a lot of times when they see a monotone flop and they have a marginal hand, they just check out and it's time to just move on to the next hand. So totally get it.
7, 10 of hearts.
They always think that they have the flop flush, right? And they don't stop to consider the likelihood that they could have a flop flush.
Or they don't want to deal with like the four flush or the constantly or that kind of stuff.
You always. Yeah,
I got weak, didn't I?
$10. Donation for myself.
25 because.
What am I? Oh.
Love these players. These are the men in the arena right now. Teddy Roosevelt would be so happy. They don't belong with those cold and timid souls. They are swinging, baby. There it is.
Really? This guy?
Not
Trying to see a family pot?
Oh, exactly.
Did y'all stop serving at 6:30?
There's a bottle of Belvedere back there.
Danny.
Yeah, can I do Belvedere and Sprite?
Oh yeah, apparently someone brought alcohol as well. Okay, now this is a game. This is a game now.
Okay, so two
Belvedere
Belvedere
Sprite.
and Sprite.
If you're watching, then come down to TCH if you
going
want
to
to
sugar
jump in
free.
this game after the stream because it's
Thank you.
call.
25 Red Bull right here before your call.
Well, I don't have a choice.
I like it.
Oh, really?
There you go. The stringiest call.
I like what you're doing. Let me do
Any
this.
whites?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What are you getting?
125? Okay.
Over here.
Go get them. Go get them, boys.
Yeah, I got to play with Grizz for like 6 hours the other week. Man, he is fun to play with. He is fun to play with, and he was just running over the table too. Okay, looks like we got a misread on the board. That's not a 2-3-5 flop.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was like Jack 10 or something.
10 Jack.
Jack 9, something.
I'm
Jack.
not sure. It just flashed real quick.
8 Jack of hearts. 7
Hey, there we go. Jack 10-7, 2 hearts. A pair for Grizz, a pair for a beat, and a pair for J-Rock.
Who wants it more? Who wants it the most? Who's got position? You know, that's what's going to decide this hand.
Me and him.
Got it, beep.
I check for him.
Oh,
that's sweet. Look at that.
no, I don't even believe it. Let him take it back.
Be nice.
Let him take it back. No, it's coming. I know it's coming. You're gonna
Don't
river,
worry.
You're gonna river 2 pair. You always do.
Trying to be nice. Look
Try
at
to
me.
be
Trying to be
nice. Look at
nice.
my eyes.
Trying to.
Very good. Play the game. Check for you.
I wonder if Danny knows by now he made a good fold. Oh, well, he
showed the aces,
He showed the
yeah.
aces, yeah.
Well, that's why they made the king so much worse.
Oh, that's right.
Would have been 20K
Oh,
pot.
everything. He did it.
I pulled up a beep.
A bet and a call. Look at that.
Yep.
J-Rock and a River 2 pair. Banger value there. Totally fine. Yeah, but you can make the call with the second pair. 10 there for J-Rock. You know, it's a good game when you got $2,400 plus pots for those kind of holdings.
Absolutely. So how much are you dealing? How much are you playing these days, Derek?
Sorry, yeah, he caught me like right mid-bite in my salad. No, I appreciate you bringing that up. So, well, currently I'm in kind of weird position right now because I'm training to do door rate flooring. I'm sure you noticed.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be flooring now. So that's gonna
You
be.
guys got the tip?
They haven't really told us like how many shifts I'm gonna have or whatnot because we don't know until we open the new location.
You like what I did there, Carlos?
But I'm scheduled 4 days a week deal currently, and then typically I'll play like on my days off before the stream or during the weekend if I have time.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
And I also do the live stream
but you're-
commentary. But
It's no even.
it depends on my mood. Some months I'm playing a lot more. Some months I'm
Trust me, I try to get you off
working a lot more.
Oh, here we go. Let's see if Sophie wakes up here with the great drone.
I'm happy you stuck with it.
Thank God for the eggs taking priority over the Boxer S in the Gulf of Mexico.
Does Mama like it now?
Yeah, because she thought I was buying a Lamborghini Urus.
Much better.
Yeah. Much more economical.
Much better choice.
Well, I didn't tell her that. I just knew that she was looking on my computer shit, so I had Lamborghini Urus on the screen. on the screen.
Throwing her off.
Yeah, and then I told the kid, if Mom asks, just tell her I've been looking at a Lamborghini Urus or a Lamborghini SUV. So she asked him.
He's a
And
fan.
and she told the truth.
We're gonna have the best hand at showdown here, and Randy.
You know what? Because he didn't know what I was getting either. But when we pulled into the dealership,
He's turning his hand into a bluff here, having 2 sevens.
and then when you did the unveiling, he
Stop all together.
a 911 Ford GTS.
Could have the
or,
7-8.
Cabriolet.
We actually have an initiative right now called the Driven Youth because we're trying to drive
targeting 9.
that brand into the younger generation because the ones that
Definitely
actually
doesn't expect the jack to
when
fold,
we
so
engage them, when we
definitely
engage them,
targeting
they love it.
9
You know,
here.
but without engaging them, a lot of them don't. You know, they think Ferrari.
Man. Mustafa about to get gangster?
We're looking into the future.
Or is it just counting
You're
stack?
looking late 40s.
I'm not gonna be there anymore when that happens. But
Are you about to get gangster,
you gotta plant
Mustafa?
the seeds for the next
Oh,
generation.
looked like he was considering it, maybe trying to get a read off of Randy as he's counting out the chips. But
I believe they almost did away with the 911s back in the day.
Welcome, Chad
we'll take
Lewis.
it down.
Yeah, I like the fact.
How's it
that
going,
you're
Chad? Thank you for
passionate
tuning in.
about learning about the brand.
Yeah, it depends on the
He
month.
taught
Some
me
months I'm
a
more
bit.
willing to play, more like go to my
2005, he taught me
Some
some
months I'm
things
just like,
I
oh, I
didn't
do
know.
not feel like playing, and I'll
He tried to
feel a
teach
lot
me
more.
some
That's
things.
kind of the nice part about having this job is very flexible.
Yep.
Always, I really like enjoy the commentary, so I'm always going to be doing that.
When are you going to jump on the live stream, Mario?
Man, say it was like a year ago, and the Wednesday game was a little smaller.
Yeah, that's
I definitely would have, but it's gotten so big, man.
Yeah, it's gotten
it
pretty
is
big.
still out of my
It's just a $50 shot. It's fine.
my price points.
People are just opening with like 150, 200. It's fine.
No, the 2.5 here is very comfortable for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's, I mean, I'm not even matching the stack, but it's still very comfortable for me. I really do want to play the Wednesday stream point, but it's just like I've said many times on the stream, it's just such a jump, right?
It's
the 1-2, the 2-5 here is already a jump, right? That's why you see some of these 1-2 players. They're definitely good enough to listen to 2-5 here. They're just not rolled,
Yeah,
right, to buy in for that amount.
Thank you,
anybody
Chris.
that's struggling with that, I would say that, just because a bunch of people buy in a bunch of the 2.5 doesn't mean that you can't still buy in for $500 and play 100 big blinds effective for most of the sessions.
This is a very solid strategy. And
200 big blinds, it's the effective stacks are the only thing that matters. So
your decision points are also simpler at 100 and 200 big blinds in stacks.
there's really nothing anybody can do to gain an advantage on you or not. So if you're thinking about stepping up from 1-2 to 2.5, I would suggest that you start with the $500 buy-in.
I mean, there you gave away my strategy now. No, but I buy in. I just do $1,000 buy-ins. That's what I set.
Sometimes
That's what I'm rolling for.
You can sort of create your own ladder by buying in more and more as you get more.
Yep.
Play bigger and bigger games.
You don't mind it.
It's like I'll bring in the cupcake too when I'm like playing the 1-2 and waiting for a 2-5, and like some of the players that I'm like buddies with or friends with, they'll be like, "Oh, you're playing more 2-5 lately." I was like, "Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it a lot more. It's more fun poker for me." And they're like, "Oh man, but the stacks are so deep." Oh, but look at this.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, so Bridge Mike opens under the gun here, basically.
Very strong range.
Very strong range, but you got queens. You got people behind you. You want a 3-bet. Totally get it. No shame in that. And how's Mike going to handle this? All right, now Mike is early position. He's just put a 4-bet on you.
Him there, Mike. You can just scan him.
I'm not saying you can fold the queens. I don't think you can. But you probably just want to call and then play. And this isn't even just about Bridge Mike. This is about the position
They look like they're
itself.
being folded.
You are going to be pretty tight here in the hijack,
Just put a
3-betting
chip on it.
Under the gun open.
Under the gun open.
Or not.
He's now just 4-bet chip back. He's going to know you're in a tight spot. So this spot is getting tighter and tighter as we speak.
Yeah, almost a spot where you're You're flipping at best, right? Or you are flipping at best, if the ranges are correct here.
Yep. And you're just, this is going to be an unfortunate hand for you. There is, I
He's
apologize,
playing
buddy.
all of us. He's like the
Maybe
biggest
you can.
winner out of
Oh
out of
man,
anyone
Mike just
here.
checks it.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Evil man.
What were you saying?
It is going to go 4-bet and a check on the flop.
Oh my god, I'm getting all the money in now. Like, oh man, Mike would get me so bad. Oh. Oh, Mike.
Really
Nice trap, buddy. I mean,
show's
man. Nope. What Mike's thinking on this is, you know, I don't have to worry about protection with aces because there's not going to be overcards that fall, right? He's a 4-bet caller, so he's not going to have, like, probably not going to have a set of deuces, a set of fives, right? He might have a set of nines, and that's it. So it's like a very safe board to check on if you wanted to do someone to bluff into you or get queens in.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's going to be...
Good hand, Mike.
Man, Angel
played beautifully by Mike there, getting the money in as good as you can get, really.
And, you know, I just want to point out, the Angel of
Played
Death struck
perfectly,
again.
man.
I just, you know, you got to be careful.
There's
Christie's in the
5
box.
left. Please give that to
Deals
Mike.
out some pain.
Hey, that's what we're here for, though, right? And we're watching it live with you all tonight. Unfortunate there.
Like
They did run it
Matrix,
twice.
dude. Dodging bullets over here.
Bridge Mike. Winning that all of that most of the time, but he's gonna chop it for his.
Danny, what would you have done there?
Getting a good break, getting a huge break there.
He would have run it once and
Well
lost.
played, Bridge Mike. Well played, buddy.
Thank you.
You don't
Look,
want
I need to give her a little more than normal.
Yeah, back to what I was saying with the buy-in. That's right. I mean, I'd play 1-2 and Wayne. Some of the buddies I played 1-2 a lot. You're playing 2-5 a lot more. And, their biggest concern right is how deep. And like how you responded to it. My number one response always, guys, don't worry about what they're second.
But I always run.
Buying for 500, buying for 1,000, and I tell them I only buy for 1,000.
One time.
A lot of players
I agree.
prefer,
I agree with
you know,
you.
someone
One
has a
time
bigger
is the
stack,
way to
they have
do
an
it.
advantage. What they're doing is they're translating
I like
from
it.
something
One
that's
time.
tournament poker
Unless
that
I know
doesn't apply to
somebody
cash.
only runs
Effective
like
stacks are
me,
the
I'm
only
not
thing
gonna
that
ask
matters.
Yep.
If you're 500 bucks, the other guy is playing for 500 bucks, and that's the game that you're playing. You're playing at 100 big blinds, and forcing him to play it, or she at 100 big blinds. So
Max spade.
perfectly okay strategy to do. Perfectly good way to get in the 2-5.
Yep.
And Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. Welcome, Chris.
I think you made
Okay, I guess he's coming back.
Yeah, he's
And
coming back.
We were just actually talking about you on the live stream, or they were.
Yeah.
Well, he says, last time greetings from Germany. Next week I'm going to be back, but a little later than we were expecting you, because I remember you saying you were going to come back in January. But glad to have you back soon, buddy.
Oh, welcome, Chris.
Should be some seats
Coming
open, right,
runs,
for
guys,
the
coming
Tuesday
runs.
game.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Peter.
You know, and I kind of heard you discuss this with Steven, I think either last stream or 2 streams ago. How, like, you noticed he was running it twice with someone, and
Sometimes
you
you're
mentioned
right,
how
sometimes you're wrong, right?
you had wished you had switched over to that at some point. But you were like, I've run it once for literally 15 years. It would mess with my head.
Yeah, I
Like,
just don't
what- you
want
wanna-
to. I don't want to choose. I just.
I guess you want to care to elaborate on it. I just didn't
Yeah.
want to choose.
No, I mean it's a silly thing. It's a bias thing. It's all it is I just ran it once for so long.
At least
I
you
don't
know
want
the
to now
chat's
run
going
it twice
crazy
and
right
I
now.
realize it'll scoop the pot if I
Is
ran
it?
it once and just have that all get in my head. It doesn't matter how many times you run it. It's the same. But you know, I just want to keep running.
You don't want to affect your play, pre-flop, flop, turn, river, whatever.
I do think it is polite to allow the other people to choose how many times they want to run it. But again, now that I ran it once with so many people, told people I could only run it once, it's now impolite to that person 3 weeks ago that I say I always ran it once too, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm running it twice with people.
You
So.
do longer for 5
Back
seconds,
pain,
call
yeah,
pushing yourself, Mike.
yeah. I'm addicted to it now. I mean, and that's the other part of it too that I tell people is, you know, you get the adrenaline rush more with running it once. You also, if you 2-outer or 1-outer somebody, it's for all the money.
Join us.
And in my opinion, games when we ran it one time, where everybody ran it one time, there was always someone getting 2-outer, 1-outer, 4-outer, and it made the game better. Just my own personal opinion, when everybody runs it once, the game is better because the swings are bigger. But, you know, I mean, to each his own.
Luckily, I hit the bottom. No, we chopped it, but it's crazy.
I want a big hand with it.
Nice hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely see. And it also goes back to that point, right, where you're playing with the same people a lot, right? How you brought up how like being polite or whatever. Not that anyone really cares. Everyone knows you only run it
Yeah,
once.
yeah. They just don't want you to pick and choose.
Yeah, the picking and choosing is what I know can slap a lot more people more. Yeah. What like people tier totally respect. It's like, oh, you're one timer, fine, whatever. Just don't swap on me, please.
Yeah.
Or like they see that you're running it twice with a buddy, but you're the only running once with him. It's like, okay.
I never bluff. Hardly ever. I have to because I don't ever get good cards.
Yeah, 50 sure.
It's like Habib has the $50. No, excuse me. Habib's just gonna call the $50 straddle.
No, 50.
A lot of Broadway hands here.
Sabine bumping it up.
325.
And Safine is
Here, look at my hand.
putting
Can I
a little
raise?
extra on than
Look at
normal
it.
does.
Look at it. Yeah, I'm like,
He's probably doing that because
a raise,
he
right?
knows people call a little bit wider in this game. So he's putting a little extra money in the pot than
You gotta raise his hand.
And look at this. I mean, he's gonna get probably a call from Grizz.
Fingers missing.
Really considering it
Grizz
here.
is thinking the same thing right now. Should I call or should I just fold more?
I was actually gonna make it 325, and so it's like weird now. Now I'm thinking, now do I need to bust? Now do I need to bump it up? All these decisions.
What a fun dude.
I can't think. I just gotta call.
I always respect people that have that ability to talk in hands. I don't. But the ability to like keep your thinking straight and talk in hands and actually come up with things to say, think on your feet, I really respect that.
I'm the same way as you. That like I've literally been in the spot where like I'm betting river and then someone starts talking to me and then I don't say a word and then until when the hand's over with, I'm like I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't talk ever in the middle of the hand. Like,
Oh, Habib got out of the way. All right.
Discipline.
he does find the fold here, but the style looks like it's gonna come along.
God mode's off. Turn it off.
3.
3 please.
And so Safine was right. He can put a little bit more English on it and still get calls.
So Grizz is gonna flop the best hand. Bottom pair, backdoor clubs.
Replay checks.
Yeah, heads up. Safine probably would just range bet this, but not so much three-way. Especially on this table where people are just going to call you, man. Man, what a hand for Grizz now. Just locked up the equity. Look at that.
550.
Now, is Grizz going to go for the call, or is he going to check raise here? You got showdown value, but it's again, it's that like low card situation where there's going to be a lot of rivers that, you know, going to hit high cards, and you might want to clear out with a check raise here. You got a ton of equity. There's also another player in the pot, another reason to check raise.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine Mustafa checking twice, right, with the top pair holding. So definitely a good spot to do it.
It's okay. I mean, he's got all the equity in the world. The calls is not going to be minus EV at all.
See what the river card brings here. An ace would be disastrous. 8 on the river.
Okay, Safine, how do you play this when he checks? You got 2 high cards. You don't really want those because it's kind of blocking his high cards, right? You don't have good removal on this run out. You win maybe sometimes if you check back. Probably not, but okay.
Another lead here.
He doesn't
Grizz.
have to deal with that because there's now a lead. Okay.
Nice hand, Chris.
I'll be so happy.
I was gonna
he's
say,
going.
yeah, not the best. Not the best to like choose to jam on him with.
Yeah, I would have been interested to see
Yeah,
if Grizz had checked again, what his Fiend decides to do. Because, like,
I
in
would
his
bet
mind,
you-
he's thinking, like, man, I would hate it so much if he turns over, like, a 6 or a 5 here.
Yeah,
But,
at the same time, it's just not the best manner to
Yeah.
bluff. I bet he checks back, but who knows? Who knows? He's got the drink going. See it right there. I forget what. Do you remember what it was? Anybody?
Belvedere Sprite.
Oh,
Get it,
Vodka
get it.
Sprite.
Do you want to straddle or not?
I think Belvedere's vodka,
I
right?
have no idea. I don't really drink that much, but
Yeah, same.
here's a reason for that. When I do, it's yeah, I just keep drinking.
Nice hand, Mr. Green.
75.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
75.
Grizz, he doesn't
Fiend
believe
getting a
you.
little wide here in the
He doesn't
hijack with
believe
the
you.
3-deuce suited.
I believe you.
He can wash it. He can wash it in a little bit.
Green, he had it.
A
He
little
had it.
spicy
You
here.
don't have ace check, ace king.
Oh, okay, he 100% has better than ace jack, ace king.
100% better than
I'm not
sorry,
getting rubies. What do you have?
I didn't have much.
He's like, I had ace
That
king.
decision was very easy.
3 players.
So just
Taking started
generally not an open
reaching
hand
for
if
chips,
there
I was
wasn't
gonna
a
my
line.
hand away.
And now that there was a line,
showed
it's
me his hand
definitely
before, I'm not saying a
you
word.
definitely wouldn't open
Yeah.
it, but that's okay. You know,
He
this
probably
is
didn't
like
have
we
it.
talked about live poker. Randy flops the world, man.
I only show my hands if they're pocket
Open
aces,
ender.
by the way, to my friends.
And a straight flush draw.
They're nice to look at.
Look at you.
Bet 2.
Somebody's got to act
And
like us, you
again,
know,
like
Kind of.
pay
Yeah,
attention
pocket
when
aces.
people are like leading out on boards like this.
250?
What's the checking range like when they
Flop a
don't
set
lead
of
out?
aces, easy
Flop
game.
set of aces,
Mr.
easy.
Green, I'm gonna watch tonight.
Something to think about.
Take it easy on me, Randy. You got enough last
Kind of the
time.
dangers
No
of
more.
playing, what, 3 deuce of clubs here, right? You open yourself to getting just destroyed here if the club comes. But fortunately for Spain here, Russia does continue with Randy. I think that one hold out
All
here.
right, yeah.
Right.
So that's like a good lesson for being right there. If you find yourself like playing a coloring outside of the lines, you can move pre-flop, and then stuff starts to happen
For how
where
much or how long?
you know it gets to be a spot where you're thinking about folding. You should probably just fold that hand because it's already outside your range, right? So
I can't
I
decide
totally get
until a little
the.
closer
I've
to
been
it.
there in
Because I
some
have a lot
spot
of
where
PCLs
you've done
already
something
taken
that's
for
a
this
little
year.
bit outside of the
Like,
box,
That was,
and then
So I'm
you
definitely
get
gonna
down
be
in the
working
hand.
on
You're
it.
just
Like,
like,
I'm
okay,
planning
you know
on
what?
taking it instead of there.
I got punished. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I flopped something here, but I'm
Flying
still
my
not
leg
comfortable.
off.
And
Yeah.
that usually just go back to pre-flop, like you said.
For
I'm
sure.
gonna straddle. I don't know.
Sometimes, man, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it sucks.
You are too, I'm assuming.
Most of the time.
I'm gonna play the main and I'm
good.
the tournament
It's the one
champions.
time it feels
Nothing
good.
this year.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Does anybody know what Bridge Mike's eyes actually look like? I don't.
They have the biggest ever.
I feel like
I do. When he likes to
When
he likes to talk about those stream stuff.
in the water. In the water
When he
without
pull me aside, we'll talk, and that's when he takes on.
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
when
he's
it
like, I
gets
want to look
serious,
at
huh?
you. Yeah,
hanging out having some
but when he's
cigars,
playing,
right?
I don't think I've ever seen him not wear shades.
Jeremy?
You definitely got the last seat on the lifeboat on that one.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Pretty good flop here for
I had my kid in my hand and he was on the lifeboat. They let me.
Danny got in the action here too.
That's somebody else's kid.
Danny straddle, I guess, pre-flop. Okay. Yeah. Danny straddle pre-flop.
Ooh, wow. Well done.
The line was
Danny
Danny,
somehow.
yeah, Danny gets gets 100 back from that disastrous hand earlier.
Well, I'm gonna watch it again. It was honestly
She's the most overrated
I just
female
went
in
under.
cinnamon,
You went 2,000.
cinnamon history.
What about that kid?
I know, you already told us that.
We're about an hour and 45 into our stream tonight. Getting close to the halfway point. If you're just now joining us, just now tuning in,
Thank you.
welcome to TCH Live. My name is Derek. We're joined by Kyle Z, one of our high stakes players on Tuesday.
What movie? Kate Winslet.
Is
We're talking about?
commentate.
I keep getting
Last really good game.
I just lose. I keep getting good hands and I lose.
I'm talking about she was
I'm pretty much giving the money away.
Free,
Except for
People will run down on what days, what big games run. I'm not even talking about on the stream, just in general. Mondays tends to play a little bit smaller. We'll have like a 5-10, 5-45 game. Tuesdays obviously is the stream, and we run a 25-50 after the stream as well. Wednesdays is this game. Wonderful action, about 10-25 games, sometimes $50 straddle.
Just hope I'm not around when that happens.
Thursdays is typically a 5-25 game. That'll run.
Wasn't that after
Sometimes just 5-10, and then Friday, Saturdays are usually like 25-50 or bigger. Sundays may or may have a big game. But
So every day of the week.
every day,
Yeah,
of the week,
yeah, I was like-
every day of the week. If you're looking to jump in, pick a few game
His album
players,
cover had the
but play
Hindenburg.
the
Some
smallest game you possibly
famous
can.
names.
Monday's probably the best bet.
Yeah.
Last Monday we ran a 2-5-10
talking
that was
about that the other day
absolutely
at work, like last 10.
I saw that running. Actually, no, I helped that. I was flooring.
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, right? You
little big game advertising.
Why say these why
Everybody
Well, so actually, I mean, now since we're on that topic, for any of our viewers out there that are in the local area, Dallas, DFW, what have you, I mean,
sued.
just in North Texas now, right? Because I mean, some people are willing to come drive to play the big games. I don't know if people know about you having that.
I think they won.
Whatever he got, he would have gotten
Yeah,
more than that, Carlos.
there's a text group that people get a text
I'll take
whenever a
this
big
kind
game
of
runs, and if you come up here and you play the big game, we can add you to that text group.
Gotcha. But no, I'm just gonna give it out.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah, no problem, man.
Habib, that's called a position call. This is a position call.
First to block.
I just read about it.
That's true. Very polite. Thank you. Thank you for not raising it.
Let's see, somehow. Oh, it just whipped around.
Oh yeah,
Look at this
Nice,
guy's got a
nice.
family pot.
Bomb pot style.
here we go.
Good
Here we
luck,
go.
everybody.
I'm in last.
Do we have the ability to play like a double word bomb pot on stream yet?
Actually, yes.
Oh man. Oh man. We might. Okay. On Tuesday we might need to trot that out a little bit.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a primary
There'll be
reason.
no-
Actually, why
there'll be no check.
well, not a primary, but it was one of the reasons. Like, I was like, oh, this could do double wards.
Oh, it's 25 to the different project.
It's got to be increments of 25.
Man, you guys are tricky. I've never heard that in my life. Is that true?
Really?
Yeah, they recently
Yeah.
did
It's true.
just
Story checks
get
out.
the ruling down from on high that any quarter game
It just
is
tells you I'm
increments
not
of
used to
25
making
here. We
in
used
my
to,
recollection.
you know, if
Because I didn't know
the
about that.
small blind was 10 or 5 or something like that, we'd allow people over to like 60 or something like that in the quarter game. But it came down from on high. Quarter games are quarter games.
Green chip game. Yep.
Green chip game. It makes it easier on the dealer. And it makes for a bigger game. Open sizes will always be 3x or more.
65?
Haven't seen people try out the 2x out there.
15.
It's a down bet, but it's aggressive.
To make him mad, he was not with tomorrow.
What an atmosphere, man. Everybody's having a good time in this game.
Maybe they have it already.
I don't drop my glass.
I don't think I've seen a single player not smile yet on this
300. That's
stream.
300.
That got me all thrown off.
Green blender.
We could just be, yeah. We'll try to project a little bit more. It could be the table audio as well, but we'll make a little bit of adjustment here.
Yeah. Maybe I just have like a weak voice, you know?
There's always one. That just won't go away. Always one. That just won't go away.
J-Rock gonna river a flush here.
Does that get you?
It hit me.
Huh?
It hit me real hard, right in the face.
Oh, don't hit you.
No, seriously.
Lay in the trap.
The opposite of OFC.
Right.
You see that? You see that?
Trying to give off
Yeah,
weakness by feigning straight there, but
We had several.
Riz will check back to the
Apparently
second
there's
pair.
at least one, if
Honest
not
man.
two flush draws on that board.
Rare to find at a poker table.
Yeah.
So in the spots where, right, like the most
Put a
obvious
diamond out
draw comes in on the river
Eight of
card,
diamonds would have been fine.
and you're the one that's been check calling the whole
Two-pair,
time,
man.
how often should you be leading and how often should you be checking?
Yep.
Checking. You think? Like when you make your flush, you make your
Man,
straight.
I don't. I only
like
lead on
family
very
pot.
like against very specific players that just check back all the time and never bluff.
Okay.
And that's sort of an exploitive thing. Against good players that still bluff, I just check range.
Yeah, just check and flow.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I assume so. Is that's I feel like what most players do. I didn't know if like there's some weird thing where like it's kind of bad. It's bad if like they ever check back, which or they're always gonna check back.
Let's say you don't have the flush and you've been check calling, and the flush comes in, then it becomes, you know, if this player never bluffs and they're betting the river again after the flush came in, you know, what are their bluffs? Like, where are they? Are there intuitive bluffs to pull from? Do they even bluff? You know, then you can just fold everything but a flush, right?
Let's see here. We got three straight draws actually. Safine with a gut shot to the nut straight. Brandy with a gut shot, and J-Rock with an open ender.
Wow.
Four players.
Where'd you grow up?
Wow. Very interesting turn card here. Going to give Safine top pair to go along with the straight draw. J-Rock with the straight now.
It is hard to play against leads. That was an adjustment in Texas. A lot of people do lead. and I wasn't really ready to play against it when TCH first opened up. It's difficult, especially in these multi-way pots.
And it's you can interpret it a multitude of
Yeah.
ways depending on the player, right? Like sometimes it's weak, sometimes it's only strong.
Flush. I don't think Safin is going to lose a ton of money here, but he might put in a little money if he feels like, oh, big bet.
Yeah, this is a massive bet here.
Yep.
And Safin put in the spot.
It's the back door. I don't blame Safin for not believing. But at the same time, he might be going through his head like, hey, what are some of the things J-Rock would actually bluff here? Are there any natural bluffs? Are there bluffs that are just that he's sitting there with where he just is like, this is an obvious bluff? And if there's not, it means it's harder to pull the bluffs. And if it's harder to pull bluffs, he's just bluffing us off. That being said, it's really hard to think about all that in game.
Yeah.
Put all that together when the pressure's on.
Stinks a little bit.
It's really weird when you're playing poker. It's almost like your mind is drunk a little bit in game. You just see it so much clearly when you're not in a hand and when you're later on when you're in home.
Yeah, it's the thing I'd like to remind a lot of our viewers, right? When we're commentating, we have commentary clarity.
Oh yeah, well that's
and
true too. Like seeing the whole cards is amazing, right?
He will make the call though. He's gonna get paid off.
both of them.
J-Rock.
Nice hand. Nice
J-Rock,
hand.
and it's a decent sized pot here, profiting 3,700. Nice hand for him.
Nice hand, J-Rock.
Look at him.
And Safin's just heading in the wrong direction here. I mean, he's
beast for a
kind of
night.
put in a lot of tough spots.
Yeah.
Feels good to be where you are.
And he's not a guy that backs down after he loses some money, so scrap it.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah, the only way you can get your money back, right, is to be involved in pots. Battle with the rest of them.
It's not quite like Dong. Like Dong is the only person I've ever seen that leans into the tilt. Like the only person I've ever seen that just leans right into the tilt. But Safin just doesn't back away. That's for sure.
I was thinking to myself, was he really going for a runner?
He's gonna be like
I get the
6K,
picture on
whatever.
that.
Let's go.
And then I see the straight.
Let's
Straight
go.
cross too.
Nice full bridge mic.
Oh, where's the next one? Make the deal.
Raise to 125.
In the low jack here, some players I think open up King 10 offsuit in full, and in reality you probably want to be mixing because in this early position you don't want too many offsuit hands. Probably want to be opening something like, I don't know, 30% of the time for King 10, something like that. Just depends on the player pool.
5 players. 5 players.
Is going to go 5 ways here. On another monotone flop here.
Boards.
But this time Grizz with the goods. Mustafa
wow,
open ender. J-Rock with second pair king high flush draw. So pretty dynamic board here. And like you said, I mean, whether you have it or not, monotone board's very tough to play. So I mean, it's kind of do I kind of expose the strength of my hand right away and raise immediately?
Chooses violence. Yeah, no, I agree.
64, Eddie, and 4,000.
Grizz will raise here. Trying to get value
All together?
from hands like King Queen, King of Hearts, Ace Queen, Ace of Hearts, and he sets.
I almost folded the flop. Yeah, when you see the river?
More than
I just want you to let me have it.
7, 9.
I have a really. I'm folding.
Fold.
With a pair.
It's hard, man. Poker's fucking hard.
That's all I needed to know.
Hard to move.
Nice in there for Grizz. Shows the deuce of hearts. Don't know if that's the right card to show.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, right.
As far as the showing cards goes, obviously you wanna have fun with people.
Yeah.
That makes you feel
I will say there is something to be said that people's imagination can be pretty wild sometimes. So if you don't show and let their imagination just run a little wild, they'll give you all kinds of hands.
So you're still.
Yeah, I'm still
That's a good
thin.
point. Because you can never really figure out how a person perceives you unless like they straight up tell you, right? So
Sure.
that's a good point how you bring that up.
Yep.
25. 75.
Tough spot though.
Haven't heard from Danny for a little bit.
Yeah, he's so
you know,
excited to have a playable hand.
5 people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
This is going to be a mostly 3-bet for Mustafa, and he does. But sometimes you can mix in calls on the button as well with the ace-10 suited.
Massive 3-bet.
Oh, yeah. Man.
In position as well. Over 4x here.
Yeah, for sure.
Played it like either
And
had
I
a set or you had to get ace of
think
hearts
making
or-
the decision there that he just Mustafa may not 3-bet that much, and he's just going to respect it.
Well, and that's I was actually about to point out. I mean, that's actually interesting that he even chose that weak of a hand to 3-bet with. I was kind of blown away there, but looks like it is going to be the halfway point here. Thank you so much for tuning in so far.
But
Kicker problems definitely brings up the subject that you can also lie about your hand, like OFC. Yeah.
Very true. Switch off dealers here and do another flip. This time we got Travis.
yeah. Well,
Thank you so much to do what the Angel of Death, as you call her, to Christy for dealing the first half.
She's going to love that.
Dealt some very interesting hands, and we got Travis here dealing the second half of our stream.
Travis is a really good dealer, and he's also holding
Welcome to the game, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, guys. Good
got
to see
that
y'all.
nice like sarcasm kind of humor, you know.
Wish I could say the same.
And right off the bat there, I mean, J-Rock showing his appreciation to Travis, which absolutely, Travis is one of our best dealers
yeah,
here.
just so you know, the map set is my first hand that
Very quick, very
This
professional.
is really awesome.
I don't know how you can deal so fast and like keep up with the conversation and make
J-Rock
jokes.
is the only person I've ever played with that's better.
I think he's been dealing for about 20 years.
I guess so.
He's very experienced.
I'm very good.
I'm the best too.
But yeah, he'll do the thing right where he's just like shuffling and like looking at you while he's having conversation, and then like,
Yep.
he's very good about doing that.
Are we doing a bomb pot?
Just another flip.
Just a little tip.
Yeah, it's just labeled as
Oh.
bomb pot because we have these.
Okay.
It's programmed.
We're just talking about the series problem
bomb
in the
pot after dealer
Southeast
change.
Asia.
whatever.
So excited.
No, that'd be cool. We should definitely do that at some point. Or maybe convince the Tuesday players to do like one at the halfway point, just to kind of keep the action going.
If it's double board kilo bomb pot, if that's what you guys can
We're
do,
only betting
we'll
the
probably
turn.
get the Tuesday guys to do it.
Yeah, we definitely can. It's just never been.
We do it off stream, so.
It's never been brought up, but yeah, we can. It's now programmed to do it.
Yeah. And we'll, don't worry, guys in the back, we'll still take the
All
100
right,
down, I
everybody's
promise.
gathered stuff.
Hey, we really appreciate that.
Come on, baby. Lady on the board. Lady on the board.
JD does pay that to you guys, right? Okay. we gotta check that. We gotta make sure he's not pocketing money.
Actually, I don't know.
Lady.
Oh, look, cheap
Lady?
pair. Another 5 or 7.
$300 a stream, huh, JD? All right.
Oh,
Cheap pair?
That's for the win rate, huh?
Cheap pair?
That's up.
King Jack, we got 7
There has to be a straight up there, right? What's going on here? 8.
sixes in the 1 seat.
Randy has something. Can't see.
I never read, but I don't know. I'm a lucky.
Am I
Is that-
lucky?
I have a straight.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is.
Oh, 4, 8. There it
5,
is.
6, 7, 8.
What a slow roll. Did he
Slow
win the
roll.
last one?
5, 6,
No,
7, 8,
no,
9.
Carlos
Carlos
won the last
9
one.
there in the 7
nine.
seat.
Oh,
bigger winner.
Slow roll.
He has a
Eight,
nuts
nine.
See?
on.
Oh,
He
man.
didn't even post like
Travis
Man,
with
just
the
kick
eagle
back,
eye.
slow rolling.
Looks like Randy's to take this
Tell me how much I won. That's
bomb pot, excuse me, this flip down onto the second half now. And it should be just as exciting, so don't go anywhere, guys.
It's like you're lying.
Always feels good to win the flips.
nice hand, Randy. Well played.
Nice hand.
I was going to say.
It's also a nice element to the game, right? When you literally start the game. Like the very first flip, right? You start the game, everyone's already down except for one player. Sure.
She did. She did.
Don't sell yourself
I
short.
do, right?
I
I
appreciate
gamble
you.
now.
All right, everybody good? Playing 5, what are we playing?
5, 10, 25.
5, 10 quarters?
750 last night.
All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Yeah, it's my first
So,
time dealing on the new table. I'm sorry, I keep
When
doing that.
Man, every time I
when
get
I was
them
still
perfect,
working
you
today,
go up and do something like that.
because I just put my phone away because I don't like having it when I'm working. I did check it at some point today, and I saw your text, and I was like, "What is he texting me about?" Because I had no idea you were commentating with me.
Caesar, what do you like?
Hold the rim.
Definitely a last minute thing.
175.
All right. Go.
175.
Going upstairs. Randy making it big.
Call one time.
Oh, there's a 50 on. Okay, that makes sense.
Just the two.
Got ace king. Ba-bam.
Nice to flop top pair, top kicker, and has the ace of clubs. So
Wait.
300 is the bet. We got a fold.
a lot of coverage on that board, and looks like we got Steven in the chat. What's up, Steven? Mr. Delivery.
Yep.
Says he hates flips and runs really bad on stream. Yeah, for sure.
Deuces live.
Welcome back from Chicago, Steven.
Yeah, we actually, there's a new highlight reel actually of a hand that Steven got in with Zafish.
Oh man, Zafish is a monster. He is an absolute gangster. It's been a pleasure to watch him play.
The bot. He's like, if everyone's gonna follow
What's happened to him recently is ridiculous. He's bluffed so much, he gave so much action, and then when he got all of his good hands in the last few weeks, like all of them just he got screwed over. So he gave all that action. He got the good hands where he's supposed to get the money back. And then,
Just remember
you know,
what they
turns
were.
and rivers just weren't with him. But he is a
That's the beast of poker.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, but he's a beast. He's insane. Did not care. I was playing in one game with Zafish, and he bluff got called, rebot. Bluff got called, rebot. Bluff got called, rebot. Just did not care. Was like, you know, I got a bluffing hand, I'm going to keep
with the
bluffing.
deuce betting, and you just start cracking up.
Wow, look at this flop. 2 pair for Grizz. Backdoor clubs. And I think he has some potential here. Can't hit a gut shot. Backdoor clubs as well.
Call it. And a call.
Look at multi-way to the turn card here. And wow, look, backdoor clubs do come in here.
Yeah, Steven, we'll see if you're around in 3 years, okay? Just like Helmy said.
That's nice. Here. Yeah.
Bet a 350.
Danny, how you feeling?
I've been a little bit better this week. I've been playing a lot more.
Oh, I thought that was a
little
troll.
less pain. So.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, I'm still like messed up, but I have like some neck
Oh, so you
injury in
back.
my arm, back.
Raise to
something.
Grizz electing to
I
raise
still need
here.
to
And,
call.
you know, I mean, if you're not going to do it on the flop, definitely on the turn card here when a lot more draws come available. And 2 pair very susceptible to getting counterfeited.
I've been eating less sugar and less carbs.
If you feel like you have the best hand, definitely want to get the money in when you think you're ahead.
Yeah.
Poker 101, right?
I mean, this is a hand that's just going to perform well against a lot of holdings, so he'll be all right. Plus, he's out of position, you know, why not?
I've seen what that makes.
Oh, wow, that Beep just makes the call here.
Man.
Oh my gosh. If there's any river card, right, that
brutal
will
river.
make action.
Any 3, any club,
are free.
man.
Alright, we are
Clubs
heads up.
would just be brutal.
I was just
Is that what we
remarking
do?
how
Are we
much it
supposed to
looks like
root for the
Red
terribleness?
right now.
I typically don't like this,
Okay.
but I'm just saying what could be.
Times I asked you not to use that word around.
But if that's what you're into, then,
No,
then go for it, man.
I got a lot of PTSD from like commentators rooting for my demise, you know?
29.
All right.
Wow, we're going to have a massive pot here.
Man.
He's got 6.
Grizz going to check the river card.
Use 5 pair. 5.
Yeah, he turned his hand to a bluff.
You know, I mean,
Good enough. We're not gonna rub it in.
all the credit to Bebig there for just digging down, going for it for a big bet. It's really hard to do on the river. It really is.
Ever famous suited ace five.
A lot of heart there from a Beep. Unfortunately for him, Grizz had 2 pair and will make the call.
He's bluffed me.
Grizz now up 3,800.
I keep talking about it, but the amount of people that can actually do that in poker is very small.
The table
Very,
set,
very
that's
small.
all.
That was a good call. Come on, man.
That was a good call.
Yeah, great play from a Beep, even better call.
He's on house money. Yeah, of course, of course. It's funny how that can do it, because you get that little.
He tries to get us all drunk with vodka. Just so he can take
Oh,
right.
my God, full circle.
Alright, we got the
Danny,
$25 start line.
I was your
you weren't
first
gonna.
victim.
You said you weren't gonna say anything,
I
man.
was your first victim.
Stop it. You don't want to vodka something?
I'll get something. I'll go with
All 25.
Looks like the straddle's off. We got some limps.
Carlos, action's on you, my friend. That's
It's
it.
Belvedere.
Carlos says no with the 6-3.
And then one with the
Raise to 100.
Bridge Mike. isolation with some Jack lawsuit on the button. Randy's getting in there. Man, we're going to have an avalanche of calls. This always happens in live poker. One guy calls, it's like 6 people call.
How you doing? How much?
100 total.
All right, in the chat, I got a question for you guys. Who is going to win the most this stream? Just start throwing out some names here.
We're gonna start over here. Check it. Check. What's that? 700.
Flop that beeb written all over.
You're kind of right, Rich. Randy, you know, again, like we talked about earlier, when it's multi-way like this, you share the minimum defense frequency. You don't have to be getting in there with the 3 if you don't want to. I would recommend Randy, if he is gonna get in here, get a little spicy and check raise this. But again, that's pretty out there. This multi-way, you can probably just throw it. Oh man, is he gonna get? You gonna get spicy, Randy?
Okay. Call the 700. Full. And full.
Hard to play against a guy like Randy when his range is so wide. You don't exactly know what turns or rivers are going to hit him, so you can make some big mistakes.
Deal me in, please.
I will.
Okay, so we got a vote for Randy there. We got a vote for Habib.
All in. There's all in.
And then Habib just jams when he hits the 2 pair here, and I think Randy's probably going to go away unless he wants to put on the cape. Nah. Cool.
34 going in the month.
Old man with a backwards hat is going to rock it. Okay, Chad. All right.
So I guess when you're playing like in a typical month, how many hours do you think you typically play in a month?
I play about 20 hours a week.
Okay.
Most of it on the weekends, but about 20 hours a week. Hard to play more whenever you got other things going on.
I was going to say that's pretty similar to how much I played. Usually less, honestly. That's like a 20 or more is like a lot for me in a week, just with how busy I am with work and doing the live stream and everything. And
yeah, I think for anybody that's like thinking about going pro or whatever, however you want to call it, one thing that you need to think about is it's actually really hard mentally to play 40 hours of poker every week, week in and week out. Even 20 hours a week is pretty mentally draining.
Yeah,
you're going to want to take breaks, so don't extrapolate out that you're going to be able to play 2,000 hours a year. You probably won't. So that being the case, focus on your career, play poker on the side. That's my advice. Right. It's the best way to go.
All right, raise to 400.
Definitely agree.
Poker's hard, man.
Yeah, like I think in January I played 100 hours, and I was like, man, that felt like a lot.
Yeah.
That felt like a lot.
It is a lot. Man.
It is a lot, yeah.
The thing about poker is your mind's working the whole time, so that's why you feel exhausted when you get home, is that you're constantly deeply thinking about spots. So you're sitting, you're not exercising, but you are exercising your mind. What do we got here? Randy's betting pot, 2 pair. What's Mustafa gonna do?
Yeah, he does have top pair and open ender, but Randy representing a lot of strength here.
Gonna
let it go. Nice discipline there from Mustafa. I mean, even if you do have that open ender, right? But even if you hit your king, right? How often is that shooting, right? With the 1-liner, good possible Broadway, or like a fold there from Mustafa.
Mainstream dealer.
Man, the drinks are flowing tonight. Look at that. Mustafa with the drinks, Spain with the drink. I know Carlos is drinking.
Yep. Savage.
For anybody that doesn't know, that hasn't really played much up here, it's BYOB up here at TCH. So if you want a drink, come prepared. Or order it from Uber Eats. That is a thing that is possible these days.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up, right? Like, I always thought BYOB locations would have, like, issues, right? With people over drinking. It really hasn't been the case here.
People definitely drink less.
Yeah. And it's... I think my fiance Lauren, she brought it up last night, and she was like, "Oh, because when it's a place where it's like it has a bar or whatever, it's hard for them to keep track of how much they're drinking, right? Because they see that they brought a 6-pack of beer, they see they have 3 left. Oh, I know I drink 3 drinks. Right? Sure. When you have the opportunity to order and order and order, it. Oh wow. Both turning a wheel here. All the money might just get in here. Well, it'd be tough actually. There's like $300 in the middle.
I want like that race call or something like that, and then have one of the flushes hit.
Yeah, mine took a while.
It'd be interesting how they navigate.
See how they navigate that. Yeah.
And I want the front door clubs to come.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Make it a little harder, right? Yeah.
750.
Raise to 750.